This is At Face Value.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Here we go again, episode 25 at Face Value. I'm Brian.
I'm Lucas.
And I'm Will.
We're so excited to have you back. Excited to have Will back again for another week. Welcome back to the show. A lot of great stuff going on. Obviously, bowl season's in full swing. We had our first round of the college football playoff, which is a big thumbs down overall. But a lot of excitement going on, and obviously just a lot of excitement about it actually at least getting started and seeing how the format's going to play out and everything. But now I know, like, kind of the first thing we want to talk about was, like the MLB race is kind of rolling in. Have they had winter meetings yet?
Yeah. That ended a few weeks ago.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
So they have winter meetings and all that. So now it's like really ramping up to where like all the transactions and everything going on.
I think pitchers and catchers report tomorrow.
It feels like that. It feels like that every year.
I know, it literally sneaks
Like,
up on you so
World
quick.
Series happens, and all of a sudden, hey, it's
Yeah.
spring training.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like pitchers and catchers reporting like
But
February. You're
I'll
like,
say it's like first week of February.
yeah,
isn't
it's
it? Like,
February.
They
yeah.
have no off season.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, but I also get it, like the amount of preparation and arm work and everything you have to
For sure.
do. Like,
I wouldn't do it for $50 million a year.
no, heck no.
Nah,
Well, dude, like,
sounds awful.
but that's like even high school baseball going down. Like, they used to only give you 2 weeks to prepare, and then you're scrimmaging. And then whenever COVID came in, like with the shutdown, they added an extra week. So now you at least get that third week because
that is
they
nice.
considered going back to 2. And then obviously all the coaches kind of threw a fit and was like, you need as much time as you can to get your pitchers ready.
Yeah.
So that makes a big difference. But no, that's good. But you're right, though, dude. It's going to be coming quickly. But yeah, a lot of signings just going on everywhere. Like I know, like the Yankees, like they've been trying to prep themselves up. Like they got,
Man, I used to love Goldie as a Texas State guy, but God,
yeah, dude, 1 year deal.
yeah.
So I don't know, but I mean, is he?
He's 37.
He is old.
Yeah.
He's
He's
older.
37.
Well, I was just,
like,
but how did he do last year? I didn't even really see like.
I mean, I'm sure he did okay.
Is he still producing? I mean,
he's still producing, and it's actually going to be an upgrade over what Anthony Rizzo was doing for the Yankees. But for him only being 2 years removed from that MVP season, it was quite substantial downgrade from 2022.
I mean,
So,
but how, like, you saw, I mean, Jose Abreu was in the MVP race,
disappeared.
absolutely just
Like he's not even in baseball anymore.
no. Like
Gone.
that's how bad of a decline that happened. So you never know with those older players too.
dude, he was actually was he playing like a Cuban league or something? And
Probably.
like he was actually like tearing it up. Like once I guess it's
I mean,
like
I'm
once
sure.
once the pressure came off him, I guess like
Yeah.
he's just playing. But yeah, it was kind of funny. But yeah, and then obviously the Astros getting a big upgrade at first base, getting Christian Walker. I mean,
huge move. I was about to not watch a single game of the Astros if they would have gotten Nolan Arenado.
yeah, that was very weird. Like I didn't understand that at all. Like how you trade Kyle Tucker, you get your prospects, and it's like, okay, like let's kind of rebuild a little bit, rebuild the farm system, and then even the possibility of turning around that quickly, trading away prospects for like a way past his prime Nolan Arenado. Like I thought that was kind of crazy, but I don't know. But
And I saw something like I think Christian Walker, like I think it's an extra like $2 million a year
is it?
than what we would have been having to pay Arenado. Like it's not that much of a difference.
Well, and actually, I did see something like there's I don't remember what the account is on X, but they value like the signings and trades and stuff like that, and they valued Christian Walker for a 3-year contract at $60.6 million. So
God.
they actually
Got a deal.
So they got him for 60. So they actually said like it was spot on pretty much.
Yeah.
So which is good, but
Which means then we'll be moving Paredes over to third, I guess.
yeah, I think that was kind of the plan all along.
I think so too. I think that was him being part of that Tucker deal was, well, I guess he would have been playing first if Arenado wouldn't have vetoed the trade. Thank you, Nolan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, I guess speaking of third base, like I don't know, like what are y'all's thoughts like on Bregman right now?
Gone.
But I understand that, but like I see both sides of it. Like people are arguing both sides. Like part of it are saying like the Astros are pretty much saying like we don't really care, go do what you want. But then on the other side, people are like, all things considered, $26 million a year, it's a pretty fair deal.
At his
I mean-
age, yeah.
I mean, at his age, like,
And it's not like the Astros have a long history of like giving long-term deals to players, which, I mean, it worked out in the Springer thing. It's worked out in the Correa thing. You know, like it's worked out for the Astros. Why would you change it now?
for sure.
Especially as he's aging. Like, I understand on his end wanting a longer deal. Like that's, I mean, who wouldn't?
Yeah.
Especially when contracts are guaranteed in baseball.
Well, and that was kind of the big argument. They said, like, with Altuve, like having Scott Boras, he pretty much told Scott Boras, I want to play for the Astros, make it work. Whereas, like, for
Yeah.
Bregman, it's kind of like, well, if it works, it works. If not, like, let's go get paid somewhere else.
Yeah.
Which you know that's Scott Boras' MO is I'm
It
gonna
is.
I'm gonna get you overpaid by somebody.
Well, and then like they're looking at that extension that Matt Chapman signed, and it's 6 years, 151 million, and I think most teams probably would say Bregman is a better third baseman than Matt Chapman. So Boris is going to be pushing to get that higher to 200 million.
I mean, is he that much better than
no,
Chapman though?
I would
Like,
probably
I think it's
not.
pretty equivalent.
yeah, I mean,
Like Matt Chapman won a Gold Glove at third base. He was arguably the best defensive third baseman in baseball for multiple years, and he could hit tanks. Like, man, I think they're very comparable.
Bregman's average has been higher, but take out last year as an outlier.
but Chapman also hit more homers.
That is true.
So like you have production
think-
in different ways, but I think they're very equivalent.
I
Like,
think Bregman's power numbers will go down not having the Crawford boxes.
agreed.
Because he the last 2 years he's been a dead pull home run hitter.
Oh, absolutely.
So if he goes anywhere that doesn't have some sort of short porch in the left field section, that I think 20 home runs might be the top.
Agreed.
yeah. So I mean, like, where do you kind of see him considering going then? I mean, like, who's gonna pay over $30 million for him?
Boston.
You think so?
Boston's the
They
one
have
that
Devers, but DH Devers and put him at third is what I would think they would do
Yeah,
because he's always been a liability on defense.
yeah.
a big
for
market
sure.
team still in the market for somebody like that. I don't know how much more Yankees going to push. They got Bellinger, they got Goldschmidt, they already signed Fried. They've already done some things, so I'm not sure if that's really a destination anymore. Boston's been thrown out there.
You
I
talk about
could
the short
see it.
porch.
Yeah, I mean Green Monster would fit right into that. It would help.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really know who the front runner is, and I think a lot of teams are going to try to call Boris's bluff. Like, hey, we're not paying $200 million, and it worked last couple years
Yeah.
because Chapman he signed a short contract originally. Now he got the extension. Bellinger signed his short contract. And we'll see what happens next year whenever he's a free agent again. But yeah, some Boris clients get paid, but sometimes the bluff gets called, and then it's up to the guy to go perform. And
Yeah,
see
I was
do.
just gonna say that I can also see Bregman just like betting on himself, going somewhere for a 1-year deal, like going off and then getting that big contract. I can see him like just doing that, being like, I'm gonna go grind, bet on myself. He seems like that kind of guy.
Yeah, and that may be his best option too.
Yeah.
I mean, like, if somebody will say we'll pay you 1 year, 32 mil, something like that.
It worked for Chapman. He turned it into a 6-year, 151.
Yeah,
But
like-
if Bregman's thinking he's getting 200 after another year,
That's
he'll
not
be
happening.
31. That's not.
No.
At some point, you got to just take the deal. But if you can get one more year and then still get a 6-year deal, carry you into your age 37, 38 season, yeah, I mean I can definitely see it.
Yeah, because I mean, I know for sure. Like, I know people, they've stopped working with Boris as much because what was it, 2-3 years ago? Whenever his client signed like $1 billion worth in contracts and something, like it was some unbelievable run that he had, and a lot of those players didn't end up performing to that level, and so I know now like it's kind of leveling out. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
They're being a
but-
little more cautious with signing those deals for sure.
I know one. There was another signing I saw. It was a third baseman, or no, it was a pitcher I didn't see pitcher at first, but the Red Sox sign said P. Sandoval, and so my first thought was Pablo,
he's back.
and I was like, dang, I was like, I thought that dude went away a long time ago, but
it's been a
it was
minute.
Patrick Sandoval.
Yeah.
Well, dude, do you remember him? Like he won that World Series with the Giants.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then, and then he got that contract with Boston, and he gained probably like 30, 40 pounds.
Wasn't his nickname the Panda?
Yes,
Yeah,
like,
his nickname
but
was the
dude, he was
Panda.
already a big dude, and then he put on weight. Like
Yeah.
I remember he showed up at Boston spring training, and the fans were pissed because he was like so
Just big.
overweight. He was huge, but
Got that deal, man.
yeah, man. Like, yeah, once you get that money, you kind of settle in, and that is kind of the crazy part. Like with like fully guaranteed contracts. I mean,
You could do whatever you want.
yeah, like you're just locked in. I mean, like look at Lance McCullers. He just
Yeah.
sitting making commercials every day, so not having to do anything. But
Who was the catcher for the Yankees this year?
Jose Trevino was a catcher, and
yeah,
they
but
actually
he's going to the Reds now. He just got traded.
yeah,
to
they
the
just
Reds.
traded him. I don't know
So
who's going to be.
They're probably in the market for a catcher now too.
No, they
Gary Sanchez coming back.
No, they had that. He's signed a minor league contract with somebody.
Did he really?
He
Yeah,
was with the
I-
Twins, right? He was.
Yeah.
I think he was in the.
He was with the
Twins.
Twins. He was hitting like 200 with the
Yeah.
Twins or something.
I mean, they might go for Martin Maldonado.
This might be totally off. I'm thinking it's Baltimore. Something tells me Gary Sanchez might have
Really?
signed with Baltimore. I might be way off base there. But no, the Yankees catcher Trevino got hurt, so the Yankees catcher finished like third in Rookie of the Year this year.
Oh wow.
He's coming in. He'll be the starter. Name is leaving me bad right now, but yeah, they actually had a rookie finished very, very high. So that's why he became expendable because
Yeah,
he
he
already had a new starter ready to go.
He did sign with the Orioles. So
Okay.
Wow.
he was playing for Milwaukee last year. I didn't realize that. He hit
Not
220.
sure how much he played. He might have been on the team.
Yeah, I mean-
kind of deal.
Talk about a dude like that. Dude was there was so much hype around him.
Oh yeah.
And then he fell off bad. Like it was, but they always said like he was a terrible fielding catcher.
Yeah.
Like he couldn't field, and he was never really a great hitter. Like it was just.
And that showed big time in the playoffs.
Oh yeah.
Like, you get like pass balls.
Well, that
and
one,
things
that
like yeah.
2017 World Series, but Gary Pettis like absolutely exposed him
Oh, for sure.
over and over again. Like I still remember that game 2, like the second baseman's holding the ball and he sends Correa home or Altuve home, and Sanchez wasn't able to field the ball and they win the
Yeah.
game. Like that was unbelievable. But kind of knowing your players. But I
Um,
saw Josh Naylor. He actually he went to Arizona.
did
Yeah.
he?
Yeah, from Cleveland.
Guardians kind of offloading guys for a team that made the playoffs.
I agree.
What was it? The second baseman too? They traded.
Yeah, I think so. I can't remember his name, but
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of surprising. I mean, the American League kind of competitive right now, and even with their own division, Tigers up and coming, Royals up and coming. So I don't know if they're just I don't know if they have prospects beneath that we don't know about, or if they're just kind of tearing it down, seeing the writing on the wall. But
well, it's kind of weird though because they just made a great run.
Yeah,
made a
Like,
great run. Didn't Stephen Voigt win Manager of the Year first
yeah,
year?
I think
mean,
so. Like
I little surprised they're trading away two guys right in the middle of their lineup like that.
yeah, I don't know.
Especially when you still have Jose Ramirez still performing fairly well. I don't know what they're thinking in Cleveland, but for some reason I don't know unless they're building up with these trades. But
I was gonna say like maybe like they're building for something bigger or something like that. I mean, I don't know.
Or I know for the longest time they were very big. They relied on the pitching staff a lot. Like they were
Yeah.
never a big offensive juggernaut. And down the stretch, a lot of their starters were hurt.
yeah, well, it's
Yeah.
Like Tristan McKenzie was hurt. Like a lot of those guys were hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And so maybe they're
well, it's not like Cleveland's shedding salary to go after a big market person. Like
No.
they're not a team that typically
No.
does that. So
and I don't know if they can.
yeah,
Yeah.
Like lure a big name free agent to Cleveland.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
agreed.
It's just not a big market like
yeah.
that.
So I mean, it's
Yeah.
just interesting to.
Because I know like
see
their
what the
big
thought
thing
process
last year
is.
was like their pitching staff was great, and then like they were just contact hitters. Like I mean, they had like one of the best run differentials, but it was kind of led by that pitching staff. So maybe they're thinking they'll kind of lean on that more again this year, and then try to find some younger pieces to kind of fill it in or whatever.
Yeah.
But
What position does Big Christmas play? Maybe they had to open up some more playing time for him.
who you talking about?
Noel, the guy that hit that home run in the
Oh,
playoffs.
yeah.
Announcer called him Big Christmas.
Big Christmas.
Like
That's
one
I
of the-
forgot about that.
One
yeah.
of the greatest nicknames I've ever heard called live. That was an all-time call
That's
when
awesome.
Big
Dude, that
Christmas
was-
delivered.
That was electric. Too
Yeah.
bad. I didn't watch much playoff baseball. 'cause the Astros were out.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it, but whenever
I
I,
do
saw the
remember that.
highlight, and I was
Yeah.
like, that's an all-timer.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
The A's made another big signing too. Signed Gio Urshela to a
Jeez.
1-year contract. So
Dude.
they got to be breaking the bank at this point. Like how many more million?
they got to be
do they
breaking
have?
like their bank. Like,
Yeah, they're breaking their bank. Yeah, they're still not touching what the Dodgers spend on one player. But
yeah, dude. Like, yeah, but I mean, they got to be putting up pretty decent money at this point. I mean, I mean, it's only a 1-year deal. I mean, it was. I mean,
Or were they playing Sacramento?
Yeah, they're playing in a minor league.
yeah, it's like a 30,000 seat stadium, or not even 30, isn't
Yeah.
it? It's like I don't remember what it is, but I
Um,
think their Vegas stadium's only going to hold like
It's
30,000.
not going to be that big. It's not
dang,
going to be
it's-
that big.
That's gonna make it so expensive.
But
Like, to
dude,
buy
but
tickets to that, like it's gonna be so expensive because the Golden Knights, it's already almost impossible to get tickets to the
really,
hockey games.
wow.
Yeah,
But I think kind of what we talked about, it's like how many are like, how much is it truly based on like having a fan base as much as it's like a tourism thing? Like you're going through Vegas, it's like I want to go to a Knights game or I want to go to an A's game.
for sure.
Like,
But like you're gonna have season ticket holders. Vegas has a big population. Like there's no doubt about that. Like it's a
true.
like they're gonna have fans. Like for sure. I'm sure tickets are gonna be expensive.
But that's just crazy. Like you've been so bad for how long now, and now you're gonna come in and
Yeah, but I mean,
they can't be. I mean, they can't charge crazy amounts starting off. Like, well, I mean, I guess they could.
Dude,
but-
absolutely.
Just because you're in Vegas.
you're
Yeah,
in
I
Vegas,
mean,
and that's gonna be
The Raiders haven't been good for a while,
Yeah.
and people
Yeah.
are going to their games.
and it's. I'm sure the venue is going to be super extravagant. It's going to be an experience just to go to the stadium. I'm sure they're going to have like Cirque du Soleil shows between innings and stuff. You know what I mean? Like it's going to be crazy, man.
It'll be like a
The
Savannah
baseball's
Bananas.
not going to be good, so they have to have
Yeah,
something
yeah.
to keep the fans engaged.
A burlesque show. Like, it's going to be awesome, man.
That'd
Oh,
be
my
crazy. What if they put like one of the Vegas residencies? It's like just during the
Yeah.
A season.
Celine Dion sings the national anthem every year, every game. You
yeah.
know, that'd be freaking awesome. No, but Anthony Santander, I think he's still in the market. That'd
He
be
is. I
that would be
didn't-
a that'd be a great pickup for the Astros. 'Cause we
Yeah,
need outfield
I was
help
looking
bad.
at his stats. Like batting average wise, he's not great, but he drops bombs. Like,
Yeah, I mean, again, playing a Minute Maid.
yeah. Is
Bo-
he a lefty or is he?
I mean, both porches are pretty short.
Yeah, true.
You know what I mean? Like the corners are short. Just
Yeah.
don't hit it to dead center unless you're Jordan. Like, that's the rule. That's the rule.
But dude, like, man, I miss Tal's Hill. Because
Dude, I'm pretty sure that Homer in Game 6 of the World Series still would have been gone with
but
the towels.
can you imagine how much more electric that would have
Oh
been
God!
to see him just hit an absolute tank
And
over
watching the guy
Tal's
try
Hill?
to run up.
Watching the guy in center field go hit the pole.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that would have been insane. But I don't know, man. But yeah, a lot of signings going on, and I mean it's still early in the winter, so I am interested to see what Bregman's going to end up doing. Just because, I don't foresee him being an Astro at this point, but I guess we'll see what happens. But
Yeah,
Which I kind of thought he was gonna be like.
it felt like it, especially
Yeah.
like with Altuve adamantly going to bat for him
Yeah.
after the.
I thought he was going to join Altuve and just be a lifelong Astro. And I mentioned it before on this podcast too. Like his favorite player of all time is Derek Jeter, and he finished off at the same team. I figured he would be
Yeah.
a lifer too. And close proximity to Baton Rouge. He's an LSU guy. Pretty close proximity to Albuquerque, where he's from. Like it's kind of all close to family and stuff. But I mean, we'll see. I mean, he still could. They still could re-sign him. They could settle. You know, they could find.
well, that's what they say is like they're
a
still
middle
not
ground.
out of the
No.
sweepstakes at all. But
It just seems less likely with kind of how it's been playing out.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
Unless that 1-year deal we're talking about is to come back,
Yeah.
and hit it again next year. But I don't see him coming back long term.
so do you see like, because it kind of like the trend now at the Astros is that pretty much they're not willing to sign more than 6 years. Like, do you foresee that becoming a problem like later on?
I mean,
Not really.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it had success, and that way you don't get stuck with these contracts if guys don't pan out. Like, yeah, it stunk that Abreu was as bad as he was, but we were able to cut the tie and go because it was only a 3-year deal. Like, if you
Right.
sign him to 6 years, carry him to his age 40 season, now we're on the hook for 3 more of these years. So,
Yeah.
and it puts you in these windows. So yeah, we've had a great 7-8 year run, and it's kind of the end of an era, and might be time to tear it down. But the idea behind it, I think for the most part worked, and it is working.
I think them banking on having a good farm system helped out a lot too. Like us having that good of a farm system where Correa leaves, oh, you plug in Pena. Springer leaves, oh, you plug in Tucker.
Yeah.
Like that helped a lot too. But again, I think circumstance is a big part of it too. I think if these guys are still pretty young, then the precedence could be there to be like, oh, we'll go 8 years, or oh, well, we might go 10 years, right? But whenever they're getting older, there's no reason. Like I don't think that's a good business decision.
Yeah.
Well, the way
like Will said with the Abreu thing, like this is not a good business decision at all.
and the way baseball's set up with how people reach free agency, like it's not set up like for the Juan Sotos to make it at age 25, 26. That just doesn't happen. Like
Right.
most guys get that first contract at age 30, and for teams to still be paying these guys for 10 years, 11 years, hitting it at that time when you look at the course of baseball history, most peaks are going to be tailing off after 33, 34. Yeah, there's some outliers, guys hang on, but for the majority of guys, you've already hit those years. So you're going to pay a guy 10, 11 years to hopefully get 3 or 4 good years. It doesn't make a ton of sense.
I mean, because look at what happened with Pujols. Like, because Pujols was kind of the one that led the way. Like,
Anybody that signed with the Angels just was dead to rights for like a 3-year span there. But
Rendon's the funniest one, dude, because he's like, baseball's not even like I don't even like it. Like that's like, essentially
has
what
he
said.
actually played for the Angels? Like I think the last time I saw Rendon play, he was still in Washington. Like I don't ever see him actually on the field.
But I do feel like the past like 5 years or so, there has been kind of a shift where they kind of push these younger stars earlier, like the Sotos, the Harpers. Like, I mean, you see Skeens, you see Dylan Cruz already up, you see Wyatt Langford already up.
Well, that's because MLB put a deal in there for that though. Like there's
did they?
There's rewards for the organization if they promote their guys early.
Really?
I don't remember if it's compensatory draft picks or if it's international pool money.
Really?
But yeah, they did implement this 2 years ago. That there is some rewards organizationally for not trying to
because
manipulate these guys' service time.
And that's what I was going to say. Before there was a reward for not calling them up early,
which was to control them longer.
Yes,
yeah. Because I remember we had the
Springer.
arguments all the time with like Springer and Jordan and all those guys.
The Astros were notorious for it.
Yeah, where it was like, when are these guys coming up? And like Michael was always the guy that was like, oh, well, his clock starts if you start at this time, or if you bring him up after June, then it changes at this point. Like, yeah, it was like there's like all these different deadlines of holding off to get that extra year of control, pretty much. But
yeah, and so I think that I didn't know that was the case, but if they did that, then that's absolutely going to help kind of get these guys their service time starting earlier so they can get those bigger contracts or longer term contracts when they're 24, 25 instead of 28 to 30.
Yeah. Which I think is good.
Agreed,
I mean,
for the players. I'm sure
for both sides,
CBA or
like,
something.
Oh yeah, for sure. But yeah,
Did y'all see that picture? We were kind of on the Astros, but did y'all see that picture that came up this week with like everybody assuming Bregman's gone of that graphic? It kind of said like greatest lineup to never win the World Series.
Dude.
And granted, all those guys weren't in their prime.
Dude,
but when I was looking at that, I didn't even realize it at the time.
Oh, dude, yeah.
But when we were rolling out Springer, Altuve. I don't remember the order, but I do remember Correa was hitting 7th and Tucker was hitting 8th.
Yeah.
In this lineup.
Yes.
And you had Yuli and Jordan and Bregman. I guess we took advantage of that time, but you look back at that lineup. Granted, Tucker was just coming up.
Yeah.
Correa hadn't turned into Correa yet, but Jordan was not Jordan. But
and not even the line, not just the lineup, the pitching staff.
Oh yeah,
that 2019
that was
Astros team was
Cole,
unbelievable.
Verlander,
Yes.
I think the graphic was actually 2018 because we won it in 17 and got back in 19. But I think that graphic was from 2018. But it was like we didn't realize the spoils we had.
That was the year the Red Sox cheated.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Which, hey, that's a good segue right into. I put it in the notes. How does Jeff Lunhow not have a job again in Major League Baseball?
Dude, he's the GM of
It's like some Mexican football
Yeah,
team.
no,
isn't
it's
he?
not,
Like,
no, he's now the GM of La Liga, dude. It's in Spain.
oh, that's right.
Okay, is
Yeah,
that
yeah.
why? 'Cause,
Yeah,
like,
dude.
Because I see
and they
that.
just beat Barcelona a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I saw that.
Because I see this lineup, and he built that, and everybody's like, oh, well, the cheating scandal. Bull crap. Everybody already cared. The Red Sox fired Cora just to bring him right back. A.J. Hinch has a job again. I didn't realize he had that job. I was like, if he's just sitting out there, how has no team brought him back in?
Yeah, he like went to. Did he didn't start in La Liga though, right? Like he went to
he was in Liga MX. Yeah.
Yeah, he went to Liga
MX,
MX, and then he worked his way up.
Okay,
so
well, then he's moved on to other things. But I'm like, with all this stuff going on, trying to build teams, how is that man still just hanging out there?
But he's like doing it in every sport. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and oh, exactly. So I'm sure if he really wanted to, I'm sure
Any
he could
trash cans
absolutely
over there?
come back.
Yeah, Shoot. God, he might need to be the Cowboys GM.
Yeah, well,
man.
good luck.
Yeah, they have to pry it out of Jerry's cold, dead hands
Yeah, we're just holding out for a little bit longer.
That's right.
for Stephen Jones.
Dude turned 81 years old this year. So
Oh,
Dang.
speaking of Dallas Cowboy Stadium, dude, I just want to throw out my school real quick.
Oh,
the
yeah,
Ganado
dude.
Indians winning the state championship.
Dude.
Absolutely unbelievable experience. So.
Yeah, what a run, dude.
Oh yeah, no, it's crazy, man. Like whole Jackson County, like everybody just backing them up. Like
Oh,
it
yeah.
was super cool to see. Because I didn't realize. I think I said it right before the podcast, but like Stanford, this was their 8th appearance ever. They've won 5 times,
Really?
and so like yeah, their fans were packed in there. But dude, I think the whole city of Ganado and surrounding community was all in that stadium too. So it was just super cool experience. So just taking a little segue there.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Congrats
yeah.
to the Indians, man.
Yeah,
That's
man.
big time, dude.
So
I mean, I'm pretty sure that's the first state title in football in Jackson County.
oh yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
I know Industrial hasn't won. I don't think Edna's ever won.
I mean, that's first appearance, I think,
Yeah.
for any of them. I don't think Edna's
Mhm.
ever made it.
wasn't like 4 or 5 years ago?
They've gone to the
was it just
semifinals
the
a few
semis
times.
twice?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, it might have been the semis a couple times, but
yeah.
I know
They've had some good teams,
couple
but
runs.
dude, like the division that Edna's in though, like
Dude, Columbus absolutely put it on.
Columbus
Oh,
is
my
legit, dude.
goodness. Who's that player from Columbus that
It's,
has won a million games and 4 straight state titles?
he won 3 titles at a 6-man school.
Okay.
It's a Grayson.
running back?
I can't remember his last name, but
yeah.
yeah,
And the amount of
so-
touchdowns he scored in the state championship game was some video game number.
yeah. So like he won 3 with the 6-man, and then like everybody was like, well, he's just 6-man good, and so like he ended up in Columbus and won it again. But also like the quarterback, his dad is the head coach. He played in the NFL and played at TCU, and so now this kid's going to TCU. Schobel's his last name, and yeah, he's the real deal too. So
Got
there you
them
go,
yards,
dude. Got your
boy.
points.
Cash it.
But yeah, man. So
He's
but no, it's
automatic
super
from
cool.
55 plus.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But no, man, super cool. Anyway,
yeah.
we're watching the Cowboys right now. Win a pointless game. So
Yeah.
could improve your draft stock, but instead we're just going to try to win games. But
Yeah, now a bad Bucks team is going to be in the playoffs.
yeah, how'd the Falcons do today?
Michael Penix Jr.
Michael Penix Jr.
did not do anything to. I mean, he played a good football game. He threw a pick, wasn't his fault. Kyle Pitts had the butterfingers and bobbled it for a pick, so it goes down. I hate the interception stat when guys do that. Should go on the receiver, but anyway, that's a different story. Played a good football game, threw a couple hundred yards, like 17 to 26 or something. They won 35 to a little. They played the Giants,
34
though.
to 7.
Yeah.
But the Giants know how to do it. Like the Giants understand the assignment. Like we're bad, we're going to be bad. We're going to get a good draft pick.
Got to have a quarterback, so I see where they're coming from. But Penix looked good, a lot better than Kirk Cousins has looked. Yeah, granted, it's against the Giants. Kind of smart. If the Falcons were going to make this move, good to give them a little warm-up game. Don't throw them to the Lions. So I think it was a smart move on their part. And now they've already come out. They're gonna cut Kirk Cousins post.
But that's just
Pre or
crazy,
post, whatever
dude.
that is, in
So that's what I
March.
was going to say though. It's like like didn't they sign Cousins to a 4-year deal?
Yes.
4-year, $180 million, but only $100 million was guaranteed.
But like again, like I don't like
But $90 million of that $100 million was this year.
yeah, like it makes absolutely no sense. So
The way NFL signings doesn't make any sense.
yeah.
You said throw them to the Lions. Does that mean they're playing the Lions next week?
No, like I
Oh,
just
okay.
meant like,
Okay.
just, yeah, just like
Oh.
I
the
was going to say
Lions.
that would have
did.
been a great
Yeah.
freaking analogy, man.
Yeah, that would have been good.
I thought they
didn't-
actually
I
were
didn't
playing
think
the
that
Lions
far
next
ahead.
week. I was like, that
Yeah,
would be kind of crazy if
I
they
don't
actually
know who
were.
they are. They're probably playing
Dude,
a
they're playing
division
the Lions,
opponent.
watch.
If they're playing the Lions.
No, they got the Commanders
acted a
and then
lot.
the Panthers.
Ah,
Throw them to the Panthers, man.
yeah.
Yeah.
Throw them to the Commanders.
Hey,
dude.
we're joking. The Panthers, they've put together 3 pretty good weeks of football lately. Bryce Young might be might be getting himself another year at quarterback.
Did you watch him against the Cowboys?
No, but
He had 4 turnovers against the Cowboys.
He's gonna get another year because we've talked about it before. This draft class just horrendous.
Oh yeah,
horrendous.
but I'm saying
Yeah.
like build around him. Don't force a quarterback in there. Build around him.
Get him some help. Get him a line.
So how bad is the NFC South then?
Terrible.
They're bad. It's bad.
The only thing worse than the NFC South might be the AFC South. And somebody has to win it, so the Texans have wins. Texans are not that good.
Can I just say this,
Do they,
Aaron?
they-
I'm telling you right now, the Texans are not that good.
They're
of
not
a
that
team.
good. They're my
not that
favorite
good.
NFL team. They are not that good. Somebody has to win the AFC
Yeah.
South. But I mean, the Colts beat the Titans today, 38-30. I think Richardson, their quarterback, went 7 for 11, like a $130, and they put up 38 points because Jonathan Taylor ran for like 220. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
the NFL makes no sense
Yeah,
to me.
they
Guys will throw for 400 yards and they'll score 17 points, and then he's completes 7 passes and they put up 38.
Okay, but really though, like, what's the Texans' strength of schedule? Like, should they get in?
No, because they've gone 3 and they have a chance to go 5-1 in the AFC South, which would out of their 10 wins, 5 of them would be in a division with the Jaguars who have 3 wins, the Titans who have 3 wins, and the Colts who have 6
Yeah, so their strength of schedule isn't very.
And they
or
only
7.
I
Colts
think
might
the
have
Cowboys
7
have
now.
a better eye test. The Cowboys should get in the playoffs over the Texans.
Yeah,
Texans
so-
demolished the Cowboys.
Yeah, but
absolutely
yeah,
wiped
dude.
the floor with them.
But strength of schedule, dude, they should get in.
So it was Texans 9-6.
Oh, we'll get into that. Yeah, we'll get into that in the college
Eye
football
test,
segment.
dude. Eye test, man. Like
Yeah.
this,
The
the
Texans are
roster's
getting
better
decimated of injuries. Tank Dell just busted his knee up again.
so they should make the playoffs.
Bad,
If
dude.
They have an injury, like Florida State. You just
But
can't,
that
can't put 'em
defense,
in.
but that defense,
Can't
not,
put them
not
in.
that good either. I don't know. In the NFL, it's kind of winded down. The AFC is actually kind of set as far as who's getting in. The seeding could still be decided.
Yeah.
But I think the 7 teams, because the Broncos are last right now, but do they have a game or 2 game advantage?
So right now it's the Chargers and Broncos are both 9-6.
Are they? What
They're
are they?
the 6 and 7
7 seed.
seed.
Who's the
and
8
then
seed?
the 8 seed is Indianapolis is 7-8.
So yeah, they have a 2 game lead with 2 games to play.
Right. So as long as they win, so as long as they win one of
One
the
their last
games,
2.
then they're
Yeah,
both in. So
the AFC's pretty much
yeah,
set.
AFC is pretty much a lock,
He's winning Rookie of the Year, ain't he?
dude. So
Today helped him because Bo Nix was hot on his ass.
I know.
he has like so they said
He had
this
5
year
touchdowns today.
he has, but he also has like 5 touchdowns this year in the last 30 seconds of regulation or overtime.
And in the most Hail Mary of Hail Marys.
That
that
that was
one,
still
yeah.
the craziest thing ever.
Yes.
That Bears players like just talking mess. Dude, that was crazy. But nah, man, I don't know. Like the NFL, like it's going to be really interesting. Like, I mean the Bills. This is the best that I've seen them. Like Josh Allen's playing absolutely out of his mind. Like, you know, we were talking about like the Prize Picks prop. You know, with interceptions, like Josh Allen's usually like an interception machine, and to have only 5 interceptions this year, like he's running the ball well, throwing the ball well, like.
Is he MVP?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. I don't disagree, but we should disagree because Lamar Jackson is having his best statistical season in his career, and he's already won 2 MVPs, so he's having a better season than both of his MVP seasons, but he's not going to win this year.
They have AFC and NFC MVPs.
No, it's just one.
That guy should win the MVP. Saquon. He's going to break the
I
rushing
thought you
record.
were gonna say Sam Darnold.
He's going to break the rushing record.
See,
dude.
I don't like that either because
It's not a quarterback. It's not a quarterback award.
no, I don't like there has to be a cutoff because they're playing more games. He gets
But
an extra game.
isn't he about to break it like this week?
No, he
Or
has
next
to,
week?
He has to rush for like 100 and something yards to get to 2,000. Dickerson had what 2,109.
Yeah, it was close
So
to that.
He'd have to 200 something yards. He can definitely break it, but he got a whole extra game. Like there needs to be a division of the records to me because like
But still,
Yeah.
Like
No,
if
good
if
season.
he gets to 2,000 yards, he's got to be the MVP.
good season. I think he should get consideration for it. But I've been watching all these talking heads say adamantly Josh Allen's the MVP. It's not even close. Like he can't really lose it at this point. But with Saquon doing what he's doing, and a 2-time MVP is having his best season as a pro, and he's not going to win the award. And I think part of that is because he won last year, so they don't,
But
it gets blurred.
I also think too, though, it also depends. Like sure, Lamar might have had less statistical relevant seasons when he won the MVP, but you have to think of who else was doing what that year too. Like there could have been some, like there just might not have been that big of a class or a pool to pick from. Like
That's fair.
You know what I mean? Like that's
Yeah,
like the Heisman. Like this
that's
year the
fair.
Heisman, like there was no quarterback like going off putting crazy numbers like Jaden Daniels did last year to beat Travis Hunter. You know what I mean? So like if Travis Hunter did what he did this year, last year, no way he wins the Heisman
No.
I think he still does.
over Jaden Daniels. No.
Charles Woodson won over Peyton Manning in one of the biggest heists of all time.
Yeah, but that was a different,
only because
but
he
that
was
was a-
doing it two ways.
Yeah, but that was a different era where you didn't have like Twitter to see highlights. Like what Jaden Daniels did against Florida has never been done in college football history,
Yeah.
and that's what won him the Heisman. Like over.
I
Bo
still
Nix.
think Daniels wins it. I think it would have been close.
Or like okay, then in 19, Joe Burrow. Like
Yeah.
it was almost unanimous. Like
Yeah.
there was almost nobody else voting for anybody else. Like if Travis Hunter did what he did this year with Joe Burrow.
Well,
I
yeah,
agree.
he had the right year to have like a breakout
Yes,
season,
exactly.
pretty much. So.
Because there's no quarterback doing crazy things.
Yeah,
like
because it was
having
all
crazy
it was
numbers.
Ashton Genty. Like that was the
Yes.
only competition at that point. So
Yes.
I don't know, but I mean, I really think I think it has to be Josh Allen just because. He's made the whole team around him better, and he's played
And dude,
better than he's ever played too. So
speaking of that, I don't know anything about NFL. I was making a prize picks line today, and I had Josh Allen over yards. He didn't hit, by the way. The one time a snow
Got
game
me
where
my-
I go in the under, and he goes off and starts chunking the ball everywhere. And today, nah, he's not going to do it. But I was trying to find a receiver to kind of pair with him, like right because he's going over yards. I'm going to get a receiver. I was going down their list. Amari Cooper that's all he has.
that's what I'm saying.
Like
so
he has like. We talked about last
And they
week.
traded for him. He didn't start the season with
Yeah,
him.
we talked about last week about like the quarterbacks making the receivers better. I don't know any of those names on that list.
Yeah,
other
but
than Amari Cooper.
his leading receiver is Khalil Shakir.
Who is that?
Exactly.
Yeah, no, that's what I
Yeah,
mean.
like he's a rookie out of Boise State.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Part of the deal with Josh, though, is also his rushing. He has like 12 or 13 rushing touchdowns, depending if he had
Oh
them
yeah,
today.
yeah.
And that's been a big part of it as well.
That's what I'm saying. So you're saying like Lamar has his best statistical season, but I mean Josh Allen has to be up there too. I mean I haven't seen it compared to other years, but I mean statistically he has to be up there.
Yeah,
I mean just as far as like his overall like, I mean
It's probably his best QB. What do you QBR and player
rating.
passer rating, mostly because he's cut down the turnovers. It's
Yeah.
not even just the picks; he's not fumbling either, and he's
Exactly.
had both those in the past.
yeah for sure.
And
But-
they're 11-3, and they
How-
look like a team that could go to the AFC Championship game. So
what is Lamar like? Is Derrick Henry there?
yeah.
yeah,
How's he doing? He's having a good year.
Derrick
Oh,
Henry.
yeah.
You're saying Saquon should win MVP? Derrick Henry's 50 yards behind Saquon.
Yeah. So
he's
that-
right there as well.
But my
Could've
point,
been a
my
Cowboy.
point was like, if it's an MVP, if you take away Lamar from the Ravens and plug in an average quarterback, they're still probably going to win some football games.
They're not going to be 10-5.
No, absolutely not. But if you take Josh Allen off the Bills and you put an average quarterback, where's that going to take you?
Oh no, I agree.
Mediocrity.
I mean
Yeah.
James Cook is their leading runner. Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
like,
what I'm saying. Like, if you want to talk about most valuable, I would say Josh Allen's probably that.
Yeah, no,
Like, because if you literally pull him off of the Bills, they're probably not that good.
I mean, but you could also say the same for the Eagles. I
Oh,
mean,
absolutely.
Saquon obviously makes a huge difference, but Jalen Hurts has weapons out the ass. Like there's weapons all over that field.
AJ Brown, Devontae Smith.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, like so that's what I mean. So when you look at the most valuable player, like the Bills are not a good team without Josh Allen.
That's what I
so-
mean. That's the point I was trying to make.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, for sure, yeah.
Yeah.
And again, like Lamar's already won 2, and he won last year. And I think I'm not saying that Josh doesn't deserve it, but there is something like when guys win them, they want to find the new guy. They want to find somebody else, and I think that plays into it some as well.
Can I also say that I saw a stat today that there's 5 teams that have not scored 30 points this year in a game. 4 of those teams have 4 or fewer losses, and one of them is the Chiefs. Who are
Chiefs.
14-1.
They are the worst 14-1 team of all time. I don't even know how many teams there are that have been at this point. I'm just going to say it without checking any of this to fact check it. They've got to be the worst 14-1 team of all time.
Absolutely. But how do they? I mean, a lot of people like they say the officials But I mean, the officials aren't going to win you 14 games. Like,
No. At some point, like, luck's going to run out.
well, and that's
You know
the
what I
thing.
mean?
Like,
especially when you start in the playoffs playing good teams and like you're playing good teams every week. But you know what I mean? Like, it's the playoffs. Like, things go up a notch. Like, at some point things are going to level out.
yeah, I mean, like, I watched one video where, like, well, it was. I think we were actually doing the podcast. They doinked in that field goal to
Yep.
win the game.
Yep.
They had other ones where it was like, there was like a missed pass interference that won them a game. There was a called pass interference that ended up winning them a game. Like, there was like
The fumble at the Raiders.
there was a fumble. Yeah, like there was like a series of games where like is a difference between them being 14-1 and being like 7-8.
I ran
Like,
it down that one time, and like 8 of their games were decided by less than 7
Yeah,
points.
it's
And the
unbelievable.
majority of them like 4 or less.
Yeah.
Yeah, and at some point the coin flip's not going to go their favor.
No.
You know what I mean? That,
Yeah,
like
well,
law of averages, like they're going to lose.
Their only loss is to the Bills,
Yeah.
and like they're probably gonna have to play them again.
Yeah,
And
Oh,
if
100%.
it'll
the,
be in Buffalo.
No.
it'll
Oh,
probably
I
be
guess
at
Because if
Arrowhead.
they're 14-1, I mean, they're
It'll
gonna
probably be at Arrowhead.
you know,
Dang, yeah.
But I mean, like
Wait, what's the Bills' record?
12-3.
12-3, they won
Yeah.
today. Yeah.
Mm.
So I mean, they would need some help. I mean, I don't think let's see. I mean, Kansas City. Let's see what their last 2 games. They have the Steelers
Who are decent.
and the Broncos, both on the road.
Mm.
So
Who does?
the Chiefs,
I mean,
they're both on the road. So I mean, there's definitely a chance.
yeah.
Cold weather in Pittsburgh. I don't know. Pittsburgh didn't look very good.
And
against
then the
Baltimore.
Bills
Baltimore's-
have the Jets at home and the Patriots on the road.
That should be 2 dubs.
So they should be
Yeah.
14-3. Which
Yeah.
I mean, speaking of bad divisions, the AFC East is also a terrible division.
Yeah.
So yes, Josh Allen's great and the Bills are great, but their division is also very, very bad. Like, I mean, the second best team is Tua and the Dolphins, who are 7-8 this year,
That's true.
and that was after they finally started to put a string of wins together.
They're 7-8.
Yeah,
They'd be a playoff team if Tua doesn't get hurt. Then
Yeah.
he missed what 3-4 games.
3-4 games. Yeah, I mean,
and they were bad when he was out.
yeah. Well, they started the season off horrible, and then they kind of went on a
Yeah.
little streak there for a little bit. But yeah,
I
they
didn't
were.
realize they'd rebounded that much.
Yeah, and then the Jets 4-11.
Dude, is Aaron Rodgers done? Like, is he gonna retire?
Yeah, he's
Dude,
got-
people are saying like he's a full on like fraud at this point. Like,
Yeah.
but
He's
dude,
40, man.
did you
Or
see what he-
41?
did you see what he said too? He goes, "I want to keep playing, and I would love to play for the Jets again next year." Like that was like
He talks like he's trying to like say everything in poetry now.
I know,
like it's
dude.
always trying to be
It's
so
all-
poetic.
It's that
and-
ayahuasca, dude. But puts things in
It's all the
perspective.
drugs
yeah.
he's taking. Yeah. He's very zen now. He's
Yeah,
just-
dude.
God.
That's crazy, man. I don't know, but no, I mean, I think the playoffs. I mean, I mean, the way I see it is, I think the Lions are legit. I don't know how much more Sam Darnold has in him. I mean, but kind of going back to what you were talking about, like, you know, taking a quarterback out. Like Sam Darnold has crazy weapons around him.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, so he has great guys to play. Now he's been playing very well this year, but he's also got dudes to throw to. I mean, like, he's got Justin Jefferson, Addison kind of coming out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I mean, they got a great running game. I mean, their
TJ
defense is
Hawkinson,
good.
good
I
tight
mean, yeah,
end.
TJ Hawkinson, their defense is good. I mean, like but again, they're kind of like in the same boat as the Chiefs,
Where they win.
where like they just find a way to win a game at the end of it. So it's like, how long can you really string that together?
It's
Where
like,
whereas
it's like
like
the one run win in baseball. Like
exactly, yeah,
Like that. Like if
Are they
averages play out.
if they make a run, say they, I mean, I would say even I mean, just making the playoffs is an overachievement. But say they get to the second round, are they really going to turn that over to a rookie quarterback that hasn't done anything and wrote a good defense at Michigan to a national title? Like, are they really just going to be like, "Thanks, Sam, for your contribution, but we're gonna see what JJ's got"?
I actually thought about that too, because
Like, I mean, how do you go? What are they like 12-2,
But
13-2?
but even beyond that, is there another team out there
Sam Darnold's getting paid.
that's what I'm saying, that is going to just like absolutely pay him way more than what he's worth for a one season? Because I mean, for
The
me,
Jags did it with Nick Foles after he won the title.
yeah, exactly, Nick Foles. But look at the amount of money that Ryan Fitzpatrick made doing this exact thing, where he would jump in with his Fitz magic and he would go on a run and then he'd go get signed as a starter, and he'd be benched like 4 weeks in, and then they'd have bring somebody else in, and then he would step in, and then somebody else would pay him. Like,
I'm trying to think what would be the best situation for him to go to. Like the ones that jump off to me, I'd be shocked, but like New York could run it back. Have to go back to the Jets. The Browns need a quarterback. Deshaun Watson.
I don't think he'd want to go back to the Jets.
New Orleans could be a place. I mean,
Spencer Rattler, I think, is their starter right now.
honestly, this.
No, dude, did you see?
I think Spencer Rattler's
he
starting
is
tomorrow.
Oh, did you? I know what you're about to bring
Yeah,
up.
dude,
Yeah, I
did
know
you
what
see
you're about
that
to
their
bring
new
up.
starter? Like,
What?
what's his name? Is it Ranky or something like that? Like,
Oh,
this
the
dude
quarterback that.
the Saints were gonna sign. Like,
I thought you were going with how they prepared for the cold weather game.
I didn't see that. What was that? Like,
so they were going to play. Where
They're going to Green Bay tomorrow.
They're going to Green Bay tomorrow. So it's supposed to be
Oh,
deathly
no.
cold at Lambeau Field. So to prepare for the cold weather, they went over the entire game plan in the cooler, in 10-degree weather in a cooler. They went over the entire game plan. And Rattler came out in the interview or in the news conference like, yeah, I think it's really going to help. You gotta be kidding me.
As much as it helped Tennessee to warm up without their shirts on and freaking
yeah,
Ohio State.
dude, I was just thinking the exact same thing. Dude.
God.
It's kind of like when we were in high school and we would do the wet ball drill where you just
Yeah.
dunk the ball in the bucket and like this will have us ready to
Yeah,
go.
we'll
Like,
this is gonna. I'm gonna play so good in cold weather because we went over the game plan in a cooler.
Did walkthroughs in the freaking refrigerator.
that is freaking
Taking hands or
awesome.
they're just taking snaps.
Oh my gosh. What about like Pittsburgh?
I
Do you think they're gonna stick with Russell Wilson?
no, I think Pittsburgh's gonna go. I think Pittsburgh wants to turn it over to Fields. I really think they do.
Really?
I think they do.
Man.
I don't know.
So why'd they
what
take it
all-
away from him then?
Because when now,
Because they weren't playing that. Well, I guess they were playing okay when he was.
I
in.
think that was more of like, let's see what Russ does. I think Russ was gonna get 2 games, and he performed well enough to keep the job.
I wonder if that Cowboys game ruined it for Justin
Yeah,
Fields.
but I really don't think they wanted to pivot from Fields because
Yeah.
like there was I think a week or 2 in there where Russ could have played, and they like kept waiting and waiting. So I don't know if this is like let Justin learn from a quarterback. But I think Pittsburgh either re-signs Russ or they turn over to Justin Fields. I don't see them going with Sam Darnold. Somebody's going to pay him though. It could be Minnesota. I mean, Minnesota could go. I mean, there's been worse picks than losing the 11th overall pick, and just like, hey, Sam did too well. We're gonna bring him back. JJ be a backup, but I just that's hard for me to sit here and go, yep, just turn it right over to a unproven quarterback that's never done anything. Not that before this season Sam had done much, but I don't know. That's just kind of a risky move.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to scroll around and just look like.
What I was gonna say was, dude, if I'm the Giants, if like Shadur really doesn't want to play for you, you have the number 1 overall pick, get a offensive lineman or take Travis Hunter and sign Darnold for a year and bridge to this quarterback class next year that I don't know what it's going to be. We'll see. But on paper, it looks to be a hell of a lot better than what's coming out this year.
I mean, I think it also depends.
And they're not going to be good next year,
No.
the Giants. I mean, they'll be up there again. So
I think that depends, too, on kind of what happens. Like, Klubnik, I mean, he looked pretty good against Texas.
Klubnik's coming back. We already know Nussmeier's coming back.
Is Klubnik for sure coming back, though?
Klubnik's coming back.
Did he already announce?
No, but Klubnik's coming back.
Man,
The only one that I think might go to the draft because of the class is Quinn Ewers because he's done it.
Yeah,
Texas.
that's what I was.
So
thinking.
Quinn might go because he has a very good chance to be the 3rd quarterback taken in the draft.
I think Klubnik might see that as well.
See, but and I know we talked about that last week. It's kind of like if all these guys keep returning, and there's few options, and that there's teams that are going to reach.
They always reach for quarterbacks.
Then why not?
Always.
Why not just jump
That's
and
why-
get drafted? Like
that's why. I
like
think Quinn's
Ewers could
jumping.
end up being like a top 10 pick.
Yeah.
Just because all these other
And
quarterbacks
that's why,
are jumping
and that's
back
why
in.
I see
Like
Klubnik doing that because, like, realistically, if you're a team and you have a choice between Quinn and Klubnik, I mean,
just because the Giants need a quarterback. They're at 1. Las Vegas is at 3. They need a quarterback. Tennessee, they're done with the Will Levis experiment. They need a quarterback. Cleveland needs a quarterback. The Jets need a quarterback. New Orleans needs a quarterback. and that's where it starts to kind of tail off.
I mean,
but that's like that's
realistically,
5 teams
the Panthers might.
if you want to say them. So
They've done crazy stuff before.
So here you go. Of
their owner's
the
crazy.
team of all the teams that picking in the top 12, you could realistically say 6 or 7 of them need a quarterback,
Yeah.
and there is 2 guys. There's 1.5 guys. If you, I'm not. I don't think Cam Ward is a franchise quarterback. He's going to get drafted like one. I don't think he is one.
But Klubnik, like, and Clemson's not known to like spend a lot for NIL. Like they just haven't done that.
They don't
like,
go to the transfer portal at all.
They finally started to
did,
now.
yeah.
But I mean, who knows what they're going to do to keep? Are they going to keep him, or are they going to just say? I mean, who knows? I hope they don't, because
I don't.
LSU opens up with the beginning of the
I'll say
season.
I don't know who they have coming up either. Like
Yeah, I don't either.
who they picked up,
But yeah,
I think he's coming back, but we'll see.
yeah.
but I mean, like, is the class going to be that much better next year?
I mean, Nussmeier's going to be there. Drew Aller didn't look great this weekend, but I think he's got the intangibles to be a good quarterback.
Arch can possibly go in.
Arch could go in. I know there's got to be way more, but
yeah, Kyle McCord, like that's a possibility.
Yeah.
You know, and
he doesn't get talked about at all this year. But Dylan Gabriel's going to the draft.
yeah,
I mean,
Yeah, but what is he, like 25, 26 already?
Michael
Like,
Penix Jr. got drafted 8th overall, and he's
Brandon
24.
Whedon got drafted.
Was he 27?
Yeah, but he got
28.
drafted by the Browns. I
mean,
mean,
yeah.
like,
But no, I mean, it's also like, again, like an extra year of development for a lot of these guys too. Like you don't know who's going to pop next year. Like realistically, obviously it's a homer take, but I think Nussmeier is going to take a big step. Like honestly,
but he's also in a great situation.
unbelievable
Like-
situation.
like
with
with-
the transfer portal that they have right now coming in.
He's not going to be Burrow because Burrow threw up one of the best seasons of all time. I can see him having a Burrow type.
Agreed.
Like he had a good year. Burrow's year before wasn't great, wasn't bad.
I mean-
and then just otherworldly. I can see him having that. type
Jaden
of deal.
Daniels did the same thing at
I-
LSU.
I
Jaden Daniels
can
was
see
mediocre his first year too.
I 100% can see that
Because he's going to
happening.
have dudes to throw to at LSU. Like there's like that's just the nature of LSU. They always have.
yeah, but Jaden
athletes.
Daniels, he really developed at Arizona State, and then he.
Yeah.
Was
You're right.
Was he there with Herm Edwards?
Yes.
Yes, he was. Yeah,
Oh, well, see, he's just a product of Herm Edwards. Y'all didn't do anything.
bad dude.
That's right.
That makes sense.
But no, since we're talking about it this weekend,
Bad.
Real bad.
yes,
Thumbs down, dude.
Real. Oh.
the product was not very
Yo.
good. The
So,
product
yeah.
was not very good. But like obviously there's all these like talking heads and people saying
This
like,
is why you don't need 12-team playoff.
dude, come on, man. Like how many times in the NFL playoffs are there blowouts? It happens quite often. Like
How many times in a 14 playoff will we getting blowouts?
yeah,
It happens.
LSU versus Oklahoma in 2019. Joe Burrow threw 6 touchdown passes in the first half. Like, dude,
It
like
happened.
that
Like,
happens often,
they-
and
People
nobody's
forget so fast.
and those people who were talking about SMU and Indiana, they were really quiet after Tennessee went down because they're from the SEC. Like Tennessee
Lane
looked
Kiffin.
awful. Nobody's gonna come in and be like, "Oh, Tennessee didn't deserve to be there." Well, why? Like, why aren't you talking about Tennessee? Like, Tennessee didn't show up either. SMU didn't show up. Indiana didn't show up, right? And when we're talking about those games, if you actually watch it, there were situations and things that happened in those games that like turned the momentum of the game early on. Like with SMU, they went for it on 4th down, going to go up 7-0 early,
Yeah.
and the guy throws behind the tight end where he could have just
Wide open, too.
Yeah,
He
was-
coulda ran for
He
it.
could have ran for the first down, but then he throws it behind the tight end and he drops it.
Yeah.
Like that's a game-changing play right there at the beginning of the game. Because if you go 7-0, that, I mean, it's the butterfly effect thing, right?
Well,
Like,
Indiana throwing a pick in the red zone their first drive.
Yes.
Like, I mean, that was bad.
after
yeah.
picking off, after having
Yeah.
like getting the pick,
Yeah.
right? Like so, that was just a bad throw by Rourke because they were driving. Like,
Yeah.
that's a completely different game. But and Indiana needs to go into the transfer portal bad and get a punter.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
dude,
dude.
that
was
that
one of
might
the
have been
horrible.
That might have been
so awful.
That might have been the worst punter I've ever seen in a Division I football game.
What was he at? Like 20 yards?
Dude, it was
What was
bad.
he
But
averaging? Like-
didn't he do the same thing against Ohio State too?
And that's
Like,
what ended up losing him the game against Ohio State is the punter. Well, there were other reasons they lost against Ohio State. Don't get me wrong, but like that shifted the entire momentum of that game in the second half because it was a touchdown game at half.
I mean, you're a Division I college. How can you not find
Dude,
somebody?
it's crazy, man.
Like have tryouts in the quad or something. Like
Yeah.
You got you're probably
Yeah.
carrying 3 or 4 of these guys. One of them got to be able to punt it more further than that.
Yeah, dude, that was bad. But no, I mean, all the games were blowouts. Even the Texas Clemson game, like that was
It got close.
that
but
never
didn't- yeah,
felt that
yeah, I
never
agree.
felt
No.
close. I know people who are Texas fans, they were a little worried, but like if you're just a neutral, like that was never a close game. Like they dominated the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball.
Well, and I think a lot of it you just kind of saw like Sarkisian when he gets a big lead, he tries to get a little too cute,
He did,
and like it's just like I mean they
dude.
I mean I texted in the group chat yesterday like I did not think Texas was going to be able to just move Clemson's defense like that. Like dude, they ran the ball all day long. Like it was unbelievable.
Dude,
like,
but if you go back and watch the Texas-Washington playoff game from last year, that's the same thing that happened, dude.
yeah.
Like Texas was running the ball at like 8 yards a clip, and Sarkisian just starts throwing the ball.
He kept throwing it, yep.
It kept stopping the clock.
Yep.
Like, dude, they could have put that game away last year too against
Yeah.
Washington, but they kept giving the ball back to Penix, and he was just dotting him up.
Oh, yeah.
Is that running back or is he?
Wisner's a freshman. I
No.
think.
But
Oh.
he missed the whole second half. Like how
Oh.
bad's that injury?
I have no idea.
I don't know. I haven't seen an
I mean,
update
Blue,
on
Blue
that.
looked,
So
Blue looked
yeah.
great in his place because Wisner missed the whole second half, and then that freshman ran like the whole last drive of that fourth quarter.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it was Blue out then
Is
too. or
Wisner a freshman?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
I have no
I-
idea.
But
don't know.
honestly, like Jaden Blue, like I mean,
He just
he's the best back out there. His problem is that he fumbles too much.
yes, he can't.
If he could hold on to the ball, like that's even what my brother said. He was like, that dude's the fastest guy on the
that
field.
burst of speed through that
Yes.
hole was.
Oh yeah, I mean like when they got down to a 1 touchdown game and then he busts a 78-yard touchdown, like and just leaving people behind, like. But it's just if he can learn to keep on like hold on to the ball, I mean like he should be the number one.
Wisner's
but-
a sophomore, so he'll be back next
So
year.
yeah, so he'll be back.
I,
and then-
I was meaning more like just the
this game,
injury.
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
gonna-
sure.
If he'll be there for that ASU game, but
But I thought you said he came back in for a little bit.
He did. He came back for a drive or two in the
I
second
saw, I
half,
saw him on the
Yeah.
bike a lot.
and then he got on the bike, and then
Yeah.
he didn't ever come back in.
Well, and then like you said, like Gibson coming in, like and
Yeah.
he did a good job coming in. So it's almost like, well, you know, we don't need him.
Yeah.
Like it probably could have forced him in if you needed to, but
Yes.
but the way Blue was running and then Gibson coming in and just taking over, I mean, it wasn't bad at all. So,
Yeah.
but I mean, I thought Klubnik was pretty solid though.
Dude,
I
I
mean, I
mean,
thought he
he's-
did a great job.
he
I mean,
was-
you could tell that was the best quarterback Texas has seen all year.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely,
Like-
and that was one of Klubnik's best games of the year.
Yeah,
Like,
for
he,
sure.
He didn't do anything wrong.
No.
Well, and I think coming back home, I think he felt he had a little more to prove on top of the playoff, obviously. But you know, being a Westlake guy and coming back to Austin, I mean,
And that's what and those freshman wide receivers from Clemson looked really good too.
yeah, they did.
Like there's a lot of young, there were multiple freshmen that were playing for Clemson. They looked very good. That's
Kind of goes back to my point. I mean, I said at the beginning of the year you disagree with me, but I think Dabo Sweeney, I still think he's a good coach. I mean, I think he does a good job, all things considered.
I don't.
I mean,
I think he had a generational quarterback to win him a national championship, and then they haven't done anything since.
that's true. Yeah.
Like Trevor Lawrence was the reason they made it. They won the national championship and made it to another one where they lost to LSU. They haven't been back since.
They won with Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, it was Deshaun Watson. Yeah,
Deshaun Watson. Yes.
Yeah, they didn't win with Lawrence.
Yeah, they did.
They didn't win one with Lawrence, did they?
I'm pretty sure Trevor Lawrence has a
No, I think they just won the one with Deshaun Watson
hang
against
on.
Alabama.
I know they won with Watson. I don't know if they've won a second one or not. Has he
No.
won two or just the one?
I thought they just won the one.
I don't think. I think he's right. I don't think Lawrence did win one,
I
or,
thought he
or
did.
did he win a title and not a Heisman? Maybe that's
Well, he never won a Heisman.
Yeah, I
know
know he
that.
didn't win the Heisman, but
Yeah, so they won in 2016, and then they won in 2018.
yeah.
So
They
they
won
did
the year
win.
before.
Oh, they won 2 out of 3 years. Okay.
Yeah, they won
Oh,
with
wow.
Watson, one with Lawrence.
Yeah.
That's because Lawrence came back and he was supposed to win the Heisman and then didn't win the Heisman, went number one.
Yeah.
because there was like a stat like talking about like, again, the only reason I know about it is because Bryce Underwood, the 5-star deal, but like there hasn't been a 5-star quarterback that won a national championship in like since Trevor Lawrence, which is crazy.
Yeah, that is kind of wild.
Klubnik's not going to win one next year at Clemson if he comes back.
No.
So are we about to see 2 more blowouts in the playoff though?
Yes.
I mean, I think Texas blows out Arizona State. You don't think so? I think Penn State blows out Boise State for
Boise
sure.
State's
I
blown
think Penn State blows out Boise State.
Penn State's defense is the real deal.
Yeah.
Like they are legit.
I mean, that's how much better they were over SMU because Penn State's offense did not actually have a great game, but that defense.
Kevin
I mean,
Jennings was lost.
he was seeing
Yeah.
ghosts.
Yeah, like
And you could tell the cold was a big issue though.
Oh,
too.
yeah,
he
for
was
sure.
always blowing on his hands.
I think it was the whiteout too. No, but we do have to make a point too about the home field advantage because I think it played a part in every single game.
oh yeah,
Absolutely,
no,
like,
for sure.
absolutely
Yeah,
did. Like, I mean,
especially in like a Penn State or like
even at Texas, man.
yeah in Texas. I mean, like the only one like
Yeah,
they
Tennessee
kind of made a
fans.
big deal is there was a lot of Tennessee fans,
Yeah.
but and like Portnoy kind of trolling Ohio State. He was like, after being traumatized like that, like not that many people are going to show up for a game the
Yeah.
next week. Like, but I don't know.
I mean, Notre Dame looked electric too.
oh yeah, I
Like
mean
that
Notre Dame it, like still is one of the best stadiums around. I think like
how. Oh, you mean the atmosphere?
the atmosphere.
Okay,
Atmosphere,
I thought you were
yeah.
talking about the team. I was like,
no,
I'm not sure,
Dude,
how electric.
I mean,
but I will say
they're
like
favorites or they opened as favorites against Georgia.
I mean-
I think that has everything to do with Gunnar Stockton.
I disagree.
Georgia.
I think Carson Beck's a worse quarterback than Stockton is.
I'm not. I
You're
don't
talking
know.
about the line.
Yeah, I think that, and people picking them, and I think that's a direct reflection of
Oh,
this is his first start, and it's in a college football playoff game. That's why they're favoring Notre Dame.
It did flip. So betters took Georgia in the points.
yeah.
And so now Georgia are favorites.
Okay.
But it opened as Notre Dame
Yeah.
favorites. But
But I mean
so that
like
means the computers are saying that like the Vegas computers that make lines, like they're
Yeah.
saying that Notre Dame were favorites
Yeah,
to
I
open.
mean-
And honestly, if I'm being completely honest, Notre Dame might be one of the better defenses that
No,
Well, I was gonna say, like-
100%.
other than Texas.
like I was gonna say like
100%.
Riley Leonard, like it's not that dissimilar to JJ McCarthy last year.
Yeah.
Like your defense is going to give you opportunities, and you just take care of the ball.
Like Notre Dame doesn't do anything that impressive offensively. Yeah, Love had that 98-yard run,
Oh, he
but
just
the
pulled up.
rest of his game, like look at his carries and yards. It wasn't. I don't even know.
I
if
think
it
he had
was,
negative yards the rest of the game.
Yeah, I don't even think he averaged a yard a carry. So his bottom line looks good, but if you
Yeah.
dive in deeper, and like with Notre Dame, I don't think they run an offense like if they were to get behind like 14,
They're in trouble.
they're in trouble. I don't
Yeah.
see how the way they play offense, they're not going to just be able to go burst and score in a hurry.
Right.
Like they're just going to try to nickel and dime you down the field, and Riley Leonard runs a good offense for him. Like he just does what he's supposed to do, but he's not going to go make some electric play that's going to wow you. So their defense has to hold up. Now with the draw they got, they should be fine.
yeah.
As long as they can contain Stockton. Now, I think they do. I think they do.
You think what?
I think Notre Dame contains Stockton because
Oh, yeah.
Stockton came out and looked good against Texas for those first two drives, and then he did nothing the rest of the game.
Yeah.
And like unless it's just one of those deals, there's no tape on this kid, so like he just comes out and
The one
you
thing
know,
I will
blitzes
say
them,
though
but-
is we're talking about home field advantage. They're playing in Atlanta, so I mean, there's gonna be a lot of Georgia fans there.
Yeah, but Notre Dame travels.
Notre Dame
Dame's
travels
a national,
great.
national.
That's true,
like
but-
national brand, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. I can definitely see Notre Dame winning that football game.
I think that. Yeah, I think they definitely have a shot for sure.
Like, and people are all harping on this strength of schedule, strength of record thing. Notre Dame's like 57th in the country in strength of schedule. Like
Yeah.
their schedule was absolutely horrendous and lost to Northern Illinois.
best two wins are A&M and USC.
Yep.
Yes.
First and last game. Yep.
Yeah, best two wins.
And so I mean, they did play Indiana, but who also had a bad strength of schedule. So this game against Georgia is going to tell us a lot.
Yeah.
Like it's the whole strength of schedule like argument.
But like what I will say too is like we talked about Indiana's defense. Like regardless of strength of schedule, the defense was really good. I mean,
Yeah.
the final score in that game was 27-3, essentially.
Yeah, I mean that's.
I
What
mean,
it,
like,
it,
Indiana-
It felt like it was 21
Yeah.
points, in between them.
Like
but
Indiana scored twice in the last 4 minutes to make
Yeah,
a 10-point
exactly.
game. Like
But as Will said, like if Love doesn't have that long run, like if they make a tackle, like do they score on that drive? Maybe not.
yeah,
So
for
that's
sure.
another. So if you're gonna nickel and dime and take off points here and there, like you can make cases, but Indiana got whooped. Like that's what it was.
Oh yeah, they got. I mean, I thought
They
they got
couldn't do
dominated
crap
up and
on
down.
offense.
Notre
Yeah.
Dame's
Yeah.
defense looked too good.
Rourke did not.
No, Rourke looked like.
I mean, he
just
covered-
Talk about seeing ghosts. That dude, like,
I mean, he was under 100 yards until like the second half
Yeah.
of the fourth quarter.
and then
like,
he hit his over.
Yeah,
But
of course he did.
yeah. But yeah. So I mean, that's like the whole conversation about who's worthy, who's not. I feel like again, it's college football. It's 18 to 21-year-olds mostly. That are playing in these games, so like you just never know who's going to show up. Like,
Oh, yeah, for
like,
sure.
Tennessee didn't show up. Like,
No, they didn't. But if that's the Ohio State that's going to play the rest of this playoffs, we don't have to play 'em.
That's the Ohio.
That
State.
Ohio State's winning the national title.
I was say that's the Ohio State that like everybody's been
Yeah,
waiting
but
to
again,
see.
That's
like,
that
yeah.
nobody's beating that team.
No.
That's the best game Will Howard's played in his college
I was
career.
just going to say, like, who knows what Will Howard you're going to get next week?
Agree, but
Like, because he was making unbelievable throws.
he
as well.
was, but the scheme was better. Like they were hitting the stuff that they should be hitting with the playmakers he has around him.
Yeah.
The games Chip Kelly has called recently have like if Chip Kelly calls that game plan against Michigan, they probably score 60.
Yeah.
Like why would you not call that same game? Like it made so much sense. Yes, Will Howard made some really good throws and some stuff, but just the whole game plan was great. The defense played well. That Ohio State, nobody wants to play that Ohio State. They'll play the ones that we've seen before, but nobody wants to play that one.
Yeah, but Ohio State does Ohio State things. Like, they're notorious
Jason
for
Day
that.
does Jason Day things.
Well, that too, but
But I mean, and Will Howard also. I mean, yeah, he made really good plays against Oregon the first time, and
Yeah.
Oregon still beat him. So,
for sure.
I mean, so they still got to find a way to slow down Oregon's offense
'Cause
too.
that's,
So
that's what they have next.
Yeah.
So that's another rematch.
Doesn't this feel like we're getting robbed of probably the best two teams in the second round?
who?
Like it feels like Ohio State and Oregon,
Shouldn't be in this round.
because you could easily make the argument they are the top two teams in the country.
Yeah.
And now we're going to get them. Yikes! Now we're going to get them in the second round. And on the flip side of that, you got to watch Boise State play Penn State.
Yeah, and that's where something will probably change. Actually, I don't think it can change next year. I think they're set for 2 years with this format. So next year will be the same thing.
I think they can get rid of the. I think they can get rid of the automatic buys.
I
mean,
the
the
conference
The
championship.
conference championship buys. Yeah.
yes.
I don't know.
think
I don't know the details of that.
You can keep the buys, but just rank them 1 through 12, and say you still get the 4 champions get in, and then the best group of 5 gets in. But you just rank them 1 through 12.
That's what it should be, but I don't know. If
After
that's-
watching seeing what we're getting in the second round, that's exactly what it should be. Because
Oh,
Boise,
absolutely.
great story. Everything else, Ashton Genty, great story. In no world should they. I mean, they're not going to
Dude.
be on the field with Penn State and look anything.
they're
like-
not, but I mean, again, crazier things have happened there.
Yeah, but
You know what I mean? Like they're most likely they're a long shot odds to win this game.
yeah, and
But they could.
y'all talked about it last week. Anybody could have beat anybody, but we got the exact opposite of that. We got
Yeah.
exactly what should have happened.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Exclamation point times 100.
Yeah,
Like that.
if you made a parlay with all the favorites, you did well this weekend.
But also, like, and going into the second round of the playoffs, there shouldn't be a 14-point spread and 11-point spread.
No.
No, I agree.
Like, and that's kind of what it comes down to. Like,
sure.
Boise State in no world should be a 3 seed. Arizona State in no world should be a 4 seed.
No.
Like, and so I mean, hopefully there is a way that they can fix that.
I mean, it's going to happen.
I mean, I
They're
like.
going. Yeah, this is gonna.
My whole thing and what I was talking about in the group chat last night, I think is eventually what's going to happen. Like it's literally just going to be a 16-team playoff, and you're going to have the top 4 teams in each conference make the playoff. Like that's what it is.
But I could even see.
like you just get in. Like again, we talked about it earlier. The AFC South and the NFC South are awful, but they're still going to get in the playoffs because they earn the right to be there. The top 4 teams in the ACC, I don't care what their strength of schedule is. The top 4 teams in the Big 12, I don't care what their strength of schedule is. They should get in, and they should rank them accordingly, 1 through 16, just like the NCAA tournament. 16 plays 1, 15 plays 2, etc. That's what it should be because you earned your right to be there. And again, how many times as a 16 seed beat a 1 seed in college basketball?
2?
Two?
There's a
Once or
3.
twice.
Yeah, once or twice. Yeah.
I think it's once or twice. So it can happen, but it's not very likely.
Yeah.
So you're going to get a blowout. Like that's just that.
And it took
blowouts-
70 years for it to happen,
Yeah.
or 60 years for it to happen.
blowouts are going to happen. Like that's just the nature.
It
of
is,
the,
but like
the games.
it
could have been avoided for sure.
well, Indiana and SMU didn't do all the skeptics favors. Like
No, they didn't.
if one of them could have made it a competitive game, it would have helped. But like now, this gives all the talking heads all the fuel they need to be like, this is why we shouldn't be put. This is why Alabama or South Carolina.
But
should have been
even
in
beyond the talking heads, does it make the committee reconsider?
there. Absolutely,
Because like that was kind of my point yesterday. It was like you just said, Indiana and SMU getting blown out. Now that completely negates like their whole argument for allowing these teams to get in there, is like giving them the opportunity to show that they're worthy, and then they get blown out.
Well, then,
And so now in the future,
they have to come out with a certain criteria. Like they have to make this more black and white.
But then again, though, like if you're SMU, then don't play your championship game. Have only one loss, and then make them make a decision.
yeah.
Like have them make that decision then.
But like SMU
Because
kind of.
What happens if SMU goes undefeated in the regular season? What if they're undefeated and their strength of schedule's awful? Are you still gonna be like, nope, you're not getting in?
See, but that's only going to continue to happen because schedule disparity is not going to get fixed with these bigger conferences, because you are going when you have a 16, 18 team conference, you can't schedule Georgia to play the top 5. You can't schedule them to play Texas, Alabama, LSU, and Florida every year. Like you can't do it.
Yeah, it's like telling the top teams they're playing the top teams every year, and the
year.
bottom teams playing the bottom teams.
You
Yeah,
can't
like,
do that.
yeah.
Like it's not. So you're going to have years where Indiana scrapes through the Big Ten and doesn't have to play anybody but Ohio State. You're going to have years where SMU scrapes through the ACC.
I mean, I picked.
We're going to
Syracuse.
see it in the SEC. We've already seen it. Texas didn't play anybody but Georgia, and they got beat twice.
Yeah.
Twice.
No, they didn't play anybody else in the SEC.
Nope.
A&M, we didn't win them, but we didn't play any. Like, there's going to be years where these teams just aren't going to play people. So unless they find a way to make schedule disparity less of an issue, it's going to continue to happen. And
Yeah.
as we're going to keep growing these conferences, it's only going to get worse.
But if you have a 16-team conference and you add an extra game, I think that'll go a long way. Or if you play 10 conference games, that would.
Well, see, the Big Ten already plays 9. Is the Big Ten plays 9?
I think so.
So yeah, the SEC getting a 9th game would definitely help. But they've got to get over their crap and
Or play
a 9th
10.
game.
Do 10. Play 10 conference games. You can have 2 outliers. Like that's what it should be.
Yeah, all that would help. But like them trying to play 8 games and then trying to make this schedule even across the board is it's impossible.
I mean, I think
You can't do
the
it.
best fix is like a 16 team, and I think we talked about it last night. It's like once the current media deal is over, there's going to be a change,
it's done.
and I think it needs to be where you essentially have 2 super conferences, and then you almost go like a NFL style format where you have 2 different sides of the bracket, and then you can do 16 teams. So instead of giving anybody a bye, 1 versus 8, and then you just match up in the middle. I mean that's what it could turn into.
You can still even keep it as a four super conference. Like just keep it as the 4. You can keep it as the 4 and do 16 teams in each one, and the top 4 in each one go. That's it.
Yeah.
There's no conference championship games. The sponsors can sponsor the next. Like Dr Pepper can go in and sponsor the first round like Fortnite did.
OG Fortnite.
OG Fortnite sponsored, brought to you by OG Fortnite. Go play. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, for
Dr
sure.
Pepper can pony up the money and do that because that deal is going to be up to once this all is over.
Yeah.
There should be no conference championship games. That's stupid. That's the same thing that's annoying with college baseball and college basketball too. I don't like that. Like I don't like a conference tournament. You play the entire season. You play 30 games of baseball, and then if you go in the conference tournament, you play this tournament game where anything can happen. Oh, you get an automatic bid. Nah, that's stupid. It should be how well do you play over the course of a season. It shouldn't come down to a few games. That's dumb. Why even play the whole season then?
Well, yeah, I mean, because like to our point of being Texas State
Yeah,
fans,
it happens every
like,
year.
what was it, 2 or 3 years in basketball that they
Dominated the
they
conference.
dominate the entire, and then they get beat in the semifinals,
Or in the final.
or in the final, and then they don't make the tournament.
Yeah,
Like,
that's crazy.
go 21-6 or whatever it
That's
is, and like
crazy.
That's the problem with being in a small conference.
yeah.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
But like,
But what he's saying is like if you
what's the point of
consistently
playing the rest
play
of the
well,
season?
yeah,
Just go
exactly,
straight to the tournament and play the
Yeah.
tournament and be like, oh, you're in.
yeah,
Like that's the same thing. That's my argument too. With like people are like, oh, Bama should be in over SMU or should be in over
No,
Indiana.
you
Well, why-
crap down your leg
against Oklahoma.
Against
Take care
Oklahoma.
of business against Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Ole Miss, take care of business against Kentucky.
Yeah.
Kentucky had one SEC conference win. One. That was against Ole Miss
And
in Oxford.
In
you
Oxford,
can't
yeah.
lose these games late season either. Like the people remember, like we talked about it before. Nobody really even remembers Notre Dame. Everybody remembers Notre Dame losing Northern Illinois, but like you don't remember how the game happened. You don't remember any of that. It happened so early. You can't lose a game to the second to last week of the season or last week of the season and not expect it to be fresh on a committee's mind. Like you can't do it.
I definitely remember Ole Miss losing to Kentucky. Like that happened relatively early. Like that's a bad loss. Very, very bad loss. And again, if you leave out to SMU, if you leave out Indiana, you're setting the precedent saying, hey, the regular season does not matter. Like just go ahead and put the best team you think on paper who is the best, just put them in because their strength of schedule was better.
Florida State agrees.
I mean, yeah. Undefeated and don't. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But
Like, why even play?
they have to come out but I don't know how they're going to do it because if you say strength of schedule, it has to be strength of schedule. The higher one's going to get in. Then we just got through schedule disparity. That's not going to be. It can't work.
But I feel like strength of schedule is such a. I don't know. Like, where's this strength of schedule stuff coming from? Because like, again, if you play Texas, your strength of schedule goes up. But who did
they have
Texas
tons of
play?
win- Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, you can make the argument like in multiple different ways. Like, who's saying, if you played Alabama, your strength of schedule goes up? Well, why? Alabama's
name.
not. Alabama's
'Cause the name,
exactly
yeah.
Because the
name.
Associated Press told you that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
They were-
Because
they
the
were
SEC is way better than everybody.
yeah.
which we're proving to not be this year.
Tennessee's strength of schedule was great. Look what they did.
Yeah.
Look what happened to them. Like that's what I'm saying. Like the strength of schedule argument's not a good argument at all.
No, I don't know how they're going to fix it, but it's also the first year. Anytime it's the first year or something, you're gonna see. Oh, here we go.
You got to take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, there's gonna be tweaks. There's gonna be changes. There's definitely gonna be. I don't know. Maybe if not next year, for sure, in 2 years, there's gonna be some sort of change. I think there's some pretty obvious ones. I think there will be even more than that, but it'll be interesting to see what they do. But the good news is we still have 7 more games. Some of them are going to be competitive. I mean, they're not all going to be blowouts. I think we're going to have some blowouts. I don't see Ohio State, Oregon being a blowout.
Dude, it
That
could.
should be-
But that
it
could happen.
It could. I don't
Like,
see
if
it. But
one
it
team
could.
doesn't show up, that could absolutely happen.
Yeah.
And that kind of where it comes
And then
down
what
to
are people going to
how
say?
you going to do coming off of 2 weeks of a bye versus a team
Yeah.
that just played and just had a massive win. I mean,
For sure.
Yeah.
And again, if the Oregon team that showed up against Wisconsin shows up against Ohio State, who played like that, the line is going to be very similar to what it was against Tennessee.
yeah.
Yeah, the whole thing's hard, man. Because then, like, say Oregon, Ohio State play another barn burner like they played the first time, and then you have to, like, that's just mentally draining, physically draining, whatever. And then maybe you have to go play maybe Texas, who's could beat the snot out of Arizona State.
Which I think they probably are.
Yeah.
So then they do that. So Texas is kind of rested, and you're mentally and physically drained because you had to play this insane game in the second round. Like, you're just not.
Well, that's what we
you're
said.
Not getting rewarded.
Well,
at
that's what we
all.
said
You're
when we
getting-
started. It was like Oregon got the
the
worst
hardest
draw of
road.
anybody.
Yeah.
I mean,
Penn State got a cakewalk.
yeah.
Yeah, they did.
I mean, absolute cakewalk. Like the first team they're going to play is going to be Georgia on a second string quarterback or Notre Dame who hasn't beat anybody.
Yeah.
Like they could be the first team they're going to play.
Yeah.
So
I mean, yeah. I think Texas got a good draw. I mean, Clemson was a 3-loss team. You know, they just happened to win their conference championship.
yeah, I mean Arizona State's really got to hope Scatterboo runs for 700 yards.
And that's going to be tough against that front seven.
I was going
Yeah,
to say,
it's
they're
not
not going to be
gonna
able
happen.
Yeah.
What is about that? Did Clemson not watch anybody else play Texas when they decided, hey, when we're down on the 1 yard line, let's run right at the front 7? Hey,
know.
did they not ever see
But
any highlights?
did you see that third down, though, dude? If he pitches that ball, he walks into the
Yeah.
end zone.
Yeah.
Yeah, but instead, like, let's run right in the teeth of it and
Yeah.
see if we can't be the first team to get this 1 yard.
Let's show that
against
Clemson grit. Yeah.
Texas. Yeah. Dabo's like, no,
Yeah.
we're going right at him.
And they called a
Great.
timeout to run that play.
They did.
I know, it's-
They did.
and they got stuffed twice. Like, that feels like deja vu. I feel like I've seen a different team get stuffed multiple times against that front 7. So
Yeah, that wasn't a good decision at
You're
all.
having, you're having a little twitch right
yeah,
now.
like, dude, Dabo put me in. I could have told you don't run that play, man.
Yeah, that's tough.
God, But,
It's kind of crazy, like the break that they have between the games too. It's like a full 10-day break between games.
Yeah, but dude, there's bowl games in between, dude.
Oh yeah,
those
some
great
great
games.
games. What's coming up next?
What crazily named games do we have coming up this week?
Let's see.
When is that Pop-Tart Bowl, man? That's the only one I even care about.
So, well, hold on. So, leading off tomorrow morning is the Myrtle Beach Bowl, UTSA and Coastal Carolina,
Yep.
followed by Northern Illinois at 7-5, playing Fresno State in the famous Idaho Potato
baby.
Bowl.
That game's gonna stink.
And of course, you have the Hawaii Bowl on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
It's always a go-to. San Jose State and South Florida.
Should be a good one.
Oh man,
But no,
God, there's some bad games.
now that I'm thinking about it, dude, Penn State had a freaking easy route.
Yeah, yeah.
Like Penn State has the easiest route out of all of them.
That's what I'm
Oh, 100%, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Penn State's the first game they have to play is against a backup quarterback with Georgia or Notre Dame.
Honestly, Penn State not making the national championship is a failure.
I agree.
I mean, yeah, because then they have Notre Dame or Georgia.
Yeah. I mean, they should be in the national championship, honestly.
Which then they will score 7 points because there's no way in hell James Franklin, he can't win any other big game. He definitely can't win that
I'll
one.
say against either one of those teams, the final score is going to be like 17-13 or something. It's going to be like some crazy low-scoring game. Like, I don't know. We'll see, man.
If Penn State ever wins one, this is it.
Yeah, but we even talked about at the beginning of the year, like to win the Big Ten, like this was the year to do it because their strength of schedule, the only team they played, I mean, going back to strength of schedule was Ohio State at home.
Yeah.
And they ended up losing that one by a touchdown. So
go look at Penn State's strength of schedule. Like, I don't know what it is, but it's probably not very high.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah, but
the world may never know.
we will. We will know in January who the best team is. It's going. We got 7 more games to get there.
But yeah, I don't know. Like you were saying, like, will we though? So like. If Oregon and Ohio State lose to Texas or Arizona State, whoever wins that game, like you said, like they just had to play a freaking crazy intense game. Like
on paper, it should be a crazy intense game. We also thought Tennessee and Ohio State was going to be that.
So, but going back to like the NFL,
agreed.
Like it's the same thing.
Agreed.
Because you go back to
the way
division winners.
But like you said in the NFL though, like. The division, like if you have a bye, you automatically get the lowest seed left remaining available.
But
you know what I mean?
But look in the NFC. In the NFC, the second best team is going to be at the 5 seed because it's either going to be the Lions or the Vikings. They have the 2 best records in the NFC, and one of those is going to be the 5 seed because they're in the same division.
And the Packers are really good too, but their record's not as good because they've lost to the Vikings.
Yeah, so they're probably going to be the 6th seed. So you're going to have 3 teams from the same division.
Yeah,
all in the playoffs.
Yeah, but didn't the NFL too?
And then you're gonna have the Falcons at 9-8 or whatever hosting a playoff game.
Like whenever the NFL, like if a top seed like doesn't the highest left seed play the lowest?
They play the lowest remaining, yeah.
And that's how it should.
That's how it should be.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I said. I wish college football would do something like that.
That's how it should be.
I think that's one of the tweaks that's coming.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the tweaks that's coming.
But this year,
unless we go to a 16, because then I think you just leave it. You do it just like a basketball bracket.
Yeah, and the bad seeds are already playing.
I was gonna say, and it worked out this year anyway, didn't it?
What?
I mean, and it's still 1 versus 8, 2 versus 7, 3 versus 6.
But the championship.
But the second best team is the 8 seed because of this ridiculous setup.
Yeah, true.
Or arguably the second best team, but I think the second best team. But
yeah, it is kind of like that. But
it's a great tackle.
They have
dumb. Why would you catch on the 5?
Like Boise being a 4 seed is crazy.
3 seed.
3 seed.
Boise being a 3 seed is crazy.
But they're the 9th. But they're ranked 9th.
Yes.
Don't forget. Don't forget.
Yeah,
they're ranked 9th. No.
Crazy.
12 intelligent people came up with this. Way more than that.
Isn't Arizona State ranked like number 11 or something? Like,
but
are they even in the top 12? Like,
well, they had to be because they went above Clemson. So,
but
wasn't Clemson ranked like 15?
No, Clemson lost to South Carolina, so they were like number 21 or something.
Clemson was a 12 spot.
Yeah, but like in their actual ranking. I thought they jumped to like 15 after they won the ACC.
Oh, I don't know.
Like they weren't ranked inside the top 12. They had to be the 12.
But shoot, I forgot where I was going to go. God dang it.
Got you off. Sorry, man.
No, it's good. It's good. It was something about how the whole system is, but I don't know.
It's a scam.
It's something. It definitely is something. It's fun to talk about.
But I mean, like,
I mean-
there's forever going to be an argument against and for like whatever's going on. Like,
Y'all were saying like whenever they came up with these rules, I don't think they had this in their bingo card where the Power Four conferences weren't going to get the top 4 seeds.
Well, no.
The way they made it, they were pretty much under the assumption that 1 through 4 was going to be the ACC, SEC, Big 10, and Big 12.
well, because
And
remember,
the
because that's
12
what we
seed.
thought it was
Yes.
originally, and then we
And-
looked it up.
Yeah,
and the 12 seed's always going to be the group of 5. Like
Yeah,
they
that's
didn't
what that-
envision them even
Yes.
being.
Yes.
That was the
anything other
plan,
than the top
exactly.
of the 12.
That they worded it wrong.
Yeah,
They probably should have worded it better.
but like, did they think that
Kind of like. Never mind.
But like, did they even envision a scenario maybe where like, okay, you're saying the Power 5 is gonna or Power 4s are all gonna be the top 4, but were they thinking about the ACC and Big 12 being that much further behind? And like now they're still the 3 and 4, and you run into a situation like we have now.
No. I think they were going to reward conference champions no matter what.
I
That's
gotcha.
what they were getting at, especially after the Florida State debacle. That's what I think. That's why they did it.
Well, I hope they enjoyed it because that's disappearing immediately.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it should, but they should still get in the playoff.
Oh, you
They
know,
just shouldn't. Yeah, they just shouldn't be the 1 through.
You
4
should still get an automatic bid,
Yes.
but you should not get an automatic buy.
in
Like,
top 4 seed. Yeah,
No.
I was going
No.
to say it's like the Constitution, but whatever.
But I mean, would you be okay? Like, I know because you said like the top 16 just having the Power 4.
Yeah.
But are you okay? Like, if they did like the top 5 conference winners?
No.
So like you wouldn't want like any group of 5 team in there.
We'll find out. Boise has the chance to prove the group of 5's worth.
No.
But if Boise goes out and loses 42-10, they're gonna be like, no,
Yeah.
we can.
And the only again, this is never going to happen, but the only way to make that possible is like promotion relegation stuff, but they're never going to do that. Like in conferences.
No.
Like that's the only
It's
way.
too much money.
Yeah, there's too much money in it. And again, that's
Well,
if Boise wants to, go jump into a conference before it gets started. Go find yourself in the Big 12. Go try to get
you're gonna have to now
Yeah.
because like their whole idea was to reward these group of 5s, but the problem is now with NIL and everything, these group of 5s are just building grounds for the Power 4
Yeah.
schools. Like they're just gonna poach these kids for years. So like these group of 5s aren't ever gonna be able to build anything and try to become a mainstay in the playoff because their team's gonna get dismantled every year.
Yeah.
Well, and pretty much you build up your team enough to join a Power 4. Like that's what the group of 5's goal is now.
But
Because
are
they
are we just going towards 24 team conferences?
Yes.
But then but then you're gonna. So who's gonna join? Who of these group of 5s now? Who's gonna join a Power 4 conference as we stand? That's not gonna make everything watered down and worse.
Well, if you have revenue sharing in the conferences with TV deals, like there's an injection of cash into that program. You know what I mean? Like look at SMU. Like they raised a ton of money to jump into the ACC. Like and they got the reward for it.
And
right?
they're also taking a cut from the ACC. Like they're not getting the same amount of revenue as other schools in the ACC.
no, they're not. But they're an outlier because they have stupid money
They have
within
their
alumni
their
base.
base is.
But I mean, TCU did the same thing. They played the Mountain West 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And they made a national championship because they had an injection of money because they got a lot of TV revenue from the Big 12. Like
they got ahead of it. They jumped early.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
now is not a
absolutely.
good time to be jumping. But I
now
don't know.
might be a good time to be jumping because if you don't, you're going to get left behind.
But I think you're already behind though because like okay.
No, but I mean like left behind to the point where like
You're never gonna come out of
never
it.
going to get in
Yeah.
unless the TV deal runs out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like that's why you have to get on top of it now. Like Texas State is in a position where like they need to get into the Big 12
Yeah.
or they're never going to be able to play for a national championship ever, which they never will anyway. But
They're going to be in the
beside
Pac-12 first.
God, that's crazy. But yeah, so that's what I mean. Like, and again, like getting into these conferences, that's where an injection of money can come in, and then obviously it relies on your alumni base and motivated donors to be able to afford to build a roster, which is what you saw at SMU.
Yeah. And I'm sure TCU did it soon. I didn't see
Yeah.
I don't know if TCU raised $140 million in 24 hours or whatever it was,
I don't
but
think so.
I'm sure that they got quite a bit of money once they
yeah.
found out they were going to the Big 12. So
Absolutely, for sure. Just to be competitive.
yeah,
I mean, you have
Yeah,
to.
but does that
SMU's
TCU?
not even competitive. Like we watched them.
I mean,
like,
but
they
they were-
built a roster, but like
Well, but what I was
But
going to
this
say
is also
too.
the first year they've done it.
But
Yeah.
does that?
Think about where they are compared to where they were last year.
yeah, but we saw TCU.
Absolutely.
Yeah, just phew.
Absolutely, but I think there's factors that are involved in that.
Yeah.
Where like quarterback play, like that Stone dude was supposed to be SMU's guy, and Jennings came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, and put on had a pretty good season. And who knows what they're going to do in the portal now? Like they could go out and get crazy dudes.
Well, and more than likely too, like going back to TCU. I mean, who's to say that they don't get knocked out in the second round, or maybe they find a way to win the first round? But I mean, if they're in a 12-team playoff, do they still make the national championship?
I mean, they beat Michigan that year.
No, but
yeah, but I mean,
you'd have to win that. You'd have to win that many more games. Like they were the one that they went and won the game, and then the true
destroyed.
and then the true
Yeah,
TCU showed up.
Absolutely.
So that would have been like SMU finding a way to beat Penn State, and then just getting the ever living
'Cause
dog crap
Not
beat out of
against-
them
not
by.
against Boise State. It
Could.
depends on how your matchup is.
Oh, Ashton Genty would have ran for 300.
I mean, it still might not have been enough to beat them though.
That's true.
Yeah.
but
Because I mean, I would think SMU would be able to put up some points against Boise State.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it also depends on what your draw is.
yeah, for sure. The world may never know.
We won on that one. I did hear that. It was like, man, we had SMU and Indiana in a playoff, but in an alternate universe, SMU and Indiana should have been playing in like.
The Boca Raton.
Yeah, exactly. they should have been playing in a bowl against each other that nobody was going to watch, but here we had them in a playoff instead.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, probably. But again, in another year, right? Like they might be a 10 seed and they go and play a 4 seed. You know what I mean? Like, and that's probably what it should be. Or wait, what would the 10-6 matchup?
7.
10-7.
10-7.
Yeah, 10-7.
I'm not in March Madness mode yet. 10-7 matchup.
Yeah.
Which that's probably a realistic like matchup for them, and that would be probably a pretty good game. 10-7.
That's
if you like rank it out like how it is, I think it'd be pretty good.
Yeah.
I think what would that be? Tennessee, SMU. Tennessee was a 7.
Tennessee was
the
8.
9. Ohio State was the 9.
Oh, yeah, 8. Yeah, that's right. They were 9.
SMU was the 10. Penn
I was going to
State
say it was a
7.
10-7
It
matchup.
literally was a 10-7.
Like legitimate.
Oh, no,
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
it was 11-6. That's what it was.
Yeah, but was it though?
Oh yeah, Indiana, Penn State,
Yeah, that was-
Indiana,
Notre
Notre
Dame
Dame
was
was
that based on
10-7.
ranking itself, or was that after everything got pushed back once they put Boise State and freaking Arizona State? That's what I'm saying.
Well, so where was
that's what I'm saying. Like in the actual ranking.
so
itself.
SMU was number
11.
8, I think, before like going into the final rankings, and then when they lost to Clemson, I think
Penn
they
State-
dropped to like 11.
I thought Penn State was ranked at like number 5 or something.
No, Penn State was number 3.
Before
No, Penn State was number 2
before the Big Ten
before
championship.
the
What did they fall
championships.
to?
They fell to the 6th seed.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, because they played. It was a 6-11 when they played.
No, but
SMU.
Lucas is asking like, what did they actually rank them?
Like ranking.
They
like
were
the-
number 2 at the very end. They were number 2
Yeah,
after all the championships. They were number 2.
I thought Texas was number 2.
No, because Texas was
Georgia.
number 2, and then they dropped to number.
Okay, so realistically, then, in my scenario,
Texas
Penn
dropped-
State would play the 15 seed.
Correct.
Yeah,
Because
that's what I'm
yeah,
getting
because
at.
so it was Oregon,
What's-
Texas, Penn State, and then when Texas lost, Texas dropped to 3, Penn State jumped to
So Georgia actually ended up 2, Texas 3, Penn State 4.
4. Okay.
So I was right. It'd be Tennessee.
Yeah, because
It'd be Tennessee SMU.
Ohio State Tennessee in the 8-9 matchup was actually the 6-7 matchup.
Yeah. So Tennessee should have been playing SMU, and Oregon would be playing
Clemson.
Clemson.
Clemson was
Yeah.
the 12 seed, but was actually the 16 seed.
I think that would be. I mean,
that makes
sucks.
more sense. I mean,
Georgia would be playing South Carolina. Texas would be playing Ole Miss. I mean, those are good games. I think that'd be great.
I think it'd be a lot different for sure.
Yeah.
Well, the rankings would have been changed around.
Yeah, they would have flipped.
They would have made sure SEC wasn't playing SEC. Like, they would have found a way to
Yeah.
make that not happen. But to your point, yeah, I know what you're getting at.
Yeah. I think SMU Tennessee would have been a good game.
I think it'd be a better game than.
Yes. Than what we got.
How those two
Ganado Stanford was a better game than what we got.
Again, that
The
was
quality on the field was better.
that was the best game of the week of all the football games I watched this week. That was hands down the best football
Agreed.
game.
I agree.
I was on the edge of
agree,
my
yeah.
seat. I was watching that on my phone and
Oh,
while I
yeah,
was treating
dude.
patients.
I was trying to load
Our
people
patients
with
were watching
corn.
it together.
Yeah.
I was driving a forklift trying to load people with corn. Looking down, watching Ganado, watching the fumble on the one, and then yelling while people were like, what is this guy looking at?
awesome.
Oh man, dude, yeah. Roller coaster of emotions.
I bet.
Yeah,
At least we got a little excitement out of it. So
hey, it was good.
So these games are what, January 1? Is that what this
There's
is?
one-
the first
one
one's December 31st.
31st.
Yeah, I think that's is that the
What time?
Is it the Boise game?
no? It's
Is it? I'm guessing it's prime time.
Oh yeah, it is Penn State, Boise State, 6:30
Yeah.
on New Year's Eve.
Great.
And
So I can
then-
watch LSU play Baylor, and then I can go watch that.
Well,
It's a great lead up.
45.
God.
Yeah, 12, 4, and 7:45 on New Year's Day for the other three.
Man,
Oh wait, you got Alabama, Michigan first in the
man.
Relia Quest Bowl.
I ain't watching that.
South Carolina, Illinois in the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl. Then you got the Kinder's Texas Bowl.
That's right.
Isn't Kinder like that little chocolate?
Yes.
You gonna go to that, dude?
Absolutely not.
Again, man.
2:30 kickoff.
I'm just excited for the Pop Tarts, but I want to see which flavored Pop Tart wins. Did y'all see all that?
Is Cam
Nah.
Ward gonna play?
Yeah, he said he is. No, so they're doing a fan vote of 3 different flavored Pop Tarts to see which one is gonna pop out of the toaster
Saturday.
in an edible costume, and you can enter if you vote, you have a chance to win a piece of the edible Pop Tart.
Nice. I talked about it last week. Did
The-
you see the trophy?
The trophy,
That
man,
trophy's sick, dude.
workable toaster, or an actual working toaster. They're the only one that's actually
about
like
a
as a
recruiting
bowl
tool.
trying to. Oh yeah, what the heck? Y'all have some built up stuff about A&M that I wouldn't hear. Y'all had to get out. Just shaming Aggie immediately. 3 minutes in the pod, dude. That would look real good on A&M's mantle or in A&M's trophy
Dude,
case.
we've done that since the first podcast.
Yeah.
I was like-
yeah.
I was
But
like, we hide nothing, dude.
For
We
like
hide
2
nothing.
weeks, there was no Aggie slander. I missed an
Oh,
episode.
we had some
three,
Aggie slander
3
built
minutes in, that looked real good in A&M's deal.
Dude, it would. You could put it in the freaking.
Yeah, serve all the recruits Pop Tarts.
No, you put it next to the ping pong table in the players' lounge, and then go make Pop Tarts. That's perfect.
You were bringing your own slander, so we were just letting you talk.
I was bringing much deserved slander, but man, we were just catching random bows last podcast. Man.
Hey, that's been all year long, dude.
But no, that trophy cabinet has to be like cobwebs.
Yeah, and I didn't even want to. I shouldn't even brought it up because Brian gave us our last title in 08 when it was actually 99.
Oh, was it 99?
Yeah, we upset Kansas State in 99
Dang.
to win the Big 12.
Man, I was
Oh,
trying to help y'all out.
Yeah,
so.
I know. I was like, man, I shouldn't even bring this up because Brian gave us 08, but it was unfortunately 99. We haven't even won since Y2K.
Oh man,
That's so embarrassing to say out loud.
sad day.
Yeah.
you were like what, 4?
Yeah, I
Five?
was 3.
3, nice.
I was 3 the last time we won a conference championship.
It's kind of like being a Cowboys fan for me. Last time they won
yeah.
Super Bowl, I was 3 years old. So
It's pretty awesome.
yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Really gives you a lot to look forward to the next year.
Yeah. It's hard to get worse. I mean, it's like, just another year. What the hell?
Yeah.
But if there was a 16-team playoff, man, that strength of schedule, they could have gotten in.
Yeah, we didn't even crack the top 25 to end the season, man. So
Yeah, I needed LSU.
yeah, it is what it is.
What bowl is Aggie playing in?
I don't even remember what the dang bowl's called. I just know we're playing USC.
Las Vegas Bowl. They're in
Is that
Vegas.
Vegas.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah. I think I picked USC to win that.
I
Actually.
don't keep up with the bowl
I picked
names
A&M.
because they change them like underwear, so I don't.
I
don't even know
picked
what they're
A&M because that
Miller Moss
is
left.
gone, yeah.
No, I
Oh,
picked.
that's
I
true.
mean,
Yeah.
I picked.
I'm giving y'all freaking. I gotta chill.
Yeah.
Giving free picks away.
Yeah.
Well, you
I'm
gave
not
away
giving-
Tennessee last week.
I almost told y'all a secret I've been using. I'm like, I'm 11-1. I'm not telling them what the heck I'm doing in this thing.
I should be 11-1, dude. I flipped Jackson State. I shouldn't have flipped it.
I was gonna.
I hate that game's even in the pick'em, dude.
Yeah,
It's a
I was gonna pick, or I picked Western Kentucky. I was going to flip James Madison, and I guess it didn't like save or something. So, but
I gotta make my picks for tomorrow. I ain't made those yet.
I made all mine already. I just go back.
Oh heck no! There's too much. I'm doing them the
yeah.
day of. There's so much going
Yeah,
on.
I looked the day of the morning,
Yeah.
but I just in case I forget, it's something's in because I
Yeah.
don't want to forget and there be nothing.
I just let it ride, dude. Just let it ride.
I mean, at this point,
Hey, I'm in second place right now,
a
so
lot
I mean,
of
I'm
it's
good.
a coin flip anyway. Yeah.
I'm 10
A
and
lot
2,
of it
so
is.
but
except the playoff games.
God, yeah, those aren't coin flips.
That's the saddest part.
Yeah.
Those should be the best games. Oh man.
I think that was the worst part. It was just the disappointment. Like
I was-
it was
I was-
all the build up, and then it was just like a flop.
It really to me it's just the Tennessee Ohio State game because like I put all my effort as that to be the one game I was going to count on as like could be.
Well, that's
just
the one
a
we
really
talked
good game.
about. We're like, well, what's one game you're looking forward to? And that was the one we
It
all
has to be,
agreed
'cause,
on.
Like,
Like,
that was 8-9. That 8-9 should always be a coin flip. And
we
I
should
just-
What
should
about
know they're
next
gonna get blown out
What
when
about the next round? Which game? Which game are you looking forward to?
Georgia Notre Dame.
Come on,
I mean, who else?
dude.
I'm
Ohio State, Oregon. That should be the.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, true.
That's gonna be
Yeah.
that's gonna be the prime.
Sorry, I was thinking the other two. I was thinking
That's gonna be the premier
yeah.
game.
It's 100% going to be the premier game.
But that's
I'm
that's a
actually,
good matchup too.
Yeah.
But I really am most intrigued about Texas Arizona State. I really am.
Dude, I watched.
I'm just
watched
intrigued.
Arizona State play Texas State, and Texas State shut down Scatterville. Like, that tells me all I need to know.
This is all I'll say is Scatterboo. If Scatterboo cannot run the ball through that front seven, then their next option is the quarterback's like RPO, and they're gonna have Anthony Hill on a spy on that dude the entire game, and that dude is going nowhere.
This is
Like-
probably the Aggie in me hoping that like Arizona State, but I'm sure by the time we get to the game, I'll have myself convinced that Texas will win by 21.
Dude, that morning you should definitely pick Arizona State.
Yeah, yeah.
You should do that.
Don't worry. I actually have all those already done,
Yeah.
but I'm not gonna.
All the way to the end, you got it.
I mean, I do have a playoff bracket like already picked through. Yeah.
Who's your winner?
Huh?
Overall, who's your winner? Who
Ohio
you
State.
got? You got Ohio State winning?
Yeah.
Yeah, what about you? Who you got?
I mean, if they play like that, I mean,
No, I had Ohio State. I thought that. I don't know. I just think Ohio State.
I got Boise State.
I actually had
He's
SMU.
gonna take out
but-
all of his Heisman aggression and just run all over the world, all the way to a title.
No, I mean I think it's pretty up for grabs with I think Texas definitely has a shot. I mean Notre Dame realistically has a shot.
I think there's 6 teams with a shot. I mean,
Yeah.
I think Boise and Arizona State are the 2 that don't.
Yeah.
But I
agreed.
think the other 6.
Yeah.
I think they're.
If the cards
you,
fall right.
you could make an argument for the other
Yeah.
6, and
Yeah.
I would be like, okay, I could buy that.
So we should go to 16 playoffs. Is what you're saying?
No, I'm saying of the 8 left. Of the 8 left, there is 6 teams
Nah,
that can win.
we should
it.
go back to the BCS, dude.
Yeah.
Dude,
No, we should
I-
go. We should go pre that. We should just let the AP poll pick who they
Yeah.
think the best team is.
God,
And
dude, that was
We
horrible.
shouldn't even play the games.
I mean that's like some of the arguments people are making though. Pretty
It was
much.
better back then when they just
Like oh, it should be like
they let a bunch of sports
There
writers.
are legitimately people that
at the end
think
of the day.
the BCS was the best system.
At the end of the day, just play the freaking Big Ten versus the SEC champion and call it a day. If that's what you want.
Yeah, I mean,
Like if that's really what you want. If that's what you think.
I mean, if you want to keep it simple, then yeah, there you go.
for sure.
Put the best 2 conferences, put the conference championship winner against each other. Like,
Should do it, dude. that would be how to crown a champion for sure.
yeah, for sure.
The sport we love put down to that crap is stupid.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I do think it's a matter of time before conference championships are done.
it should
though.
be.
Like,
It should be. That's stupid.
I've never understood. Maybe way back when there was a lot more significance behind it, but I mean now I don't see how you
at
can.
12, and especially I think when this thing eventually does go to 16 teams, it is a useless extra game.
Yep.
And at that point, all you're really doing is putting kids in a risk for injury that for a game that should need to happen.
It's a meaningless
Yeah,
game.
should need to happen. So I think once this thing eventually goes to 16, which I think it will sooner rather than later, they've got to just go away. I'm with Lucas. Let the sponsors sponsor the first round or whatever, but just get rid of it.
And then
OG
again,
Fortnite.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's right,
love it.
dude. When that popped up, I was like, "Oh my god, that's crazy."
I thought you
What
were
world do we
joking when
live
you
in?
first said that because I hadn't put it on yet.
Nah,
And then you're like, OG Fortnite first round playoff.
Pre-game kickoff sponsored by OG Fortnite. Like I'm like, what did they just say here? It's crazy. Fortnite's come a long way.
Yeah, dude. It's transversed.
Frozen rope.
Oh, Baker, dude. That's all I got.
Yeah.
Like anything else?
Yeah.
No, that's
We're just
it.
gonna keep going in loops. What was
Yeah.
gonna happen?
No,
So
Yeah.
no, we should end it there for sure. We
was
touched
solid,
all the
yeah.
bases of an absolute crap weekend of college football. The first one, really, of the year.
yeah,
Because every other weekend's been great.
Can only
Crazy
go up.
upsets.
had to happen eventually. So
Yeah.
Can only go up. Can only go up.
matchups coming up: Penn State, Boise State, New Year's Eve, and then New Year's Day, Texas, Arizona State, Ohio State, Oregon, and then Notre Dame, Georgia will be finishing off that day. So
Yep.
hopefully it should be a nice, good, hopefully round 2. So quarterfinals of the playoff.
Wait, what time is Oregon Ohio State?
It's at 4.
Oh,
What's the first game?
okay.
11? Is it 11? Are you guessing?
Noon.
is that noon? Okay.
Well, it's probably 11.
Okay.
Four,
No, it's
Probably
noon.
Eastern.
four
No,
probably
it's noon.
being it's a
Really?
holiday.
Yeah. On New Year's Day they play an hour later.
Yeah, 'cause you have the parade all morning.
Oh, the Rose Bowl parade.
Which means like Notre Dame, Georgia won't start till like almost 9.
Man, I worked that day, so
Sucks.
it's whatever.
I'll
It
send you.
does suck.
I'll send you play-by-plays. Just
Thanks.
spam your phone.
I'd appreciate that. All right.
All right, let's wrap it up. All right, we appreciate everybody joining us for another week. Continue to like, subscribe, share, watch, tell your friends, tell your family. All your holiday travel, just give us a listen. We keep you. Some of you will probably be driving for about 2 hours, so this lines up about even with that. So
Dang.
just give us a listen, give us a watch if you're a passenger, or if you're a driver if you feel good. No, don't do that. Don't do that. No. But until next time, we'll see you next week.
See ya.